Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty, back here with another video, guys. In this video today, we are going to be reacting to DBG's hour and 40 long minute documentary of NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Now, I know I have some of my own individual thoughts of this year, and guys, I hope to be able to hit on some of those during the video. But guys, I'm very, very excited. I hope you guys are too. Make sure to show DBG mad love. And the link to this video will be down in the description. Huge shout out to DBG, guys. Let's hop right into the video. I know I'm excited to watch it. I know I am.
2K20
I know I am.
was a relatively positive experience for the vast majority of people that played the game.
I think 2K19 overall as a whole, everybody liked it. I mean,
the game had so much intrigue that the most viewed video on my channel.
That documentary was good. If you haven't watched that, make sure to go watch that documentary.
High coming into NBA 2K20 that we were going to get one of the best, if not the best, MyTEAM experience we've ever had. And honestly, in certain ways we did, and in certain ways this was the worst game that 2K had ever produced. But there's only one thing that I can say for sure, and it's that from pre-launch to today, there has not been a day where this game mode has not been at least interesting. And even people that...
I mean, that's the thing. Throughout the whole course of this game, I've been interested, you know, and here's why I say that. We're 2 weeks from, you know, the demo, whatever, prelude of 2K21 dropping, and I'm still playing the game. Whereas in 2K19, you know, content ended a little earlier. The game was dead a little. I think the game was more dead at this time last year. I truly do.
I hate this game mode. It's one of the things that's hard to turn off. And whether you're a fan of what they've done or not a fan of what they've done, it is something that has garnered the interest of every single player.
In position, yeah, just position locks has helped
whether that be a positive or a negative light. But at the same time, looking back at what things were like a year ago, so much has changed. There has been so much that has changed with the way that we look at this game mode, with the amount of people that have voiced, with the amount of people that have grown in terms of content creation, in terms of tips. This game mode has evolved more this year, I believe, than any other
definitely
year
has.
In terms of how to play it. Again, some people find that to be a negative because there's too much quote-unquote cheese, but at the same time, I just feel it is people that are improving. So there has been so much this year.
Y'all see DBG shoot a straight arm here? Watch it. Watch his heart. Hey, he just holds it up there, man.
So much this year. From unstoppable dribble moves to so many patches to even things like the game being completely broken and the auction house resetting everything.
But you guys got to remember, the auction house was better this year than last year. Last year, the auction house got way worse. Like, last year, you couldn't even place bids on players for multiple weeks. It was bad. Last year was definitely bad. I'm not saying this year it was good, but last year it was bad as well.
And in this video here, we are going to be having a look at everything in this game mode. We're going to be looking at pre-launch. We're going to be looking at the great cards that 2K have released.
I mean, pre-launch for 2K20, I was excited. Because I grinded all the offline for Dominic Wilkins.
Thoughts of the game has evolved.
I grinded all the Dominic.
Things like competitive MyTEAM, looking at the 250k tournaments, and also doing a couple of creator spotlights throughout this video, which, like I did last year, just to highlight certain individual things that people have done. Obviously, a lot of creators have grown big time this year, but there are a lot.
Where's this thing at now?
Of certain things that
we don't even get to gamble now, you know.
Mainly be focusing on rather than say
slot machine
X amount this year. But if there is a specific event that ties in with something we're talking about, we will be looking at that. So anyway, yeah, in this video we're going to start off, and this will be kind of like my introduction video to this topic. We are going to be looking at pre-launch for NBA 2K20. So this is going to be the introduction. This will also be in the main video. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. So the first news we got were the developer blogs as well as the trailer for NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. And in general, from the developer blog, especially from what we'd seen with 2K19 where the gameplay was a step up, people were in general very positive with it.
And that's what I'm saying. When this stuff came out, everybody was excited. Everybody was, man.
From our perspective,
the prize wheel, there was so much.
Which is always something that's great in MyTEAM, as well as that. The fact that they announced position locks. While there were definitely skeptics to position locks, myself, well, mainly myself, I got so much hate for it, but exactly what I said was going to happened.
And that's the thing. When position locks early in the game, they weren't that bad. Like, when 250K happened, it was not bad. It really wasn't. I mean, outside of Ben Simmons, there wasn't really a card you could cheese with at the point guard position. Like, it really wasn't bad.
Position lock.
And Ben Simmons couldn't even shoot.
I was really happy with the Evo cards. Prime Series was the same as 20th anniversary. So, it honestly looked like there was not going to be any, just in terms of just the game mode-wise, it was going to be a really, really positive experience. However, something that went over my head and a lot of other people's heads in the community, because we were just looking at it as the game mode, we'd almost become just numb to what 2K were doing, was the entire gambling controversy. And looking back on this a year later, I definitely see why there was uproar about it from the non-2K players, but I also understand why 2K players were like, look, it's just free stuff for us. Understand why again it kind of
and that's kind of why I just was like,
just looking at this,
it's free.
Tech Court is literally looks like a casino. The game mode looks like it's casino themed, the entire thing. So yeah, definitely
I mean, casino it just looks like a like I guess the background. I mean, with that wheel, but it's like to me, it's all free stuff. So I mean, you could say gambling, but
it literally looks like
for me, I never really thought of it like that, man.
It's casino themed, the entire thing. So
I never thought of it like that. In my opinion,
definitely in poor taste. Whereas I do not believe ball drops. I don't believe that certain things like spin the wheels are necessarily gambling. I do believe the pack system is. Looking back on it, at best, it's poor taste. Even something like these slot machines. So I definitely understand why 2K had to take them out.
I mean, I guess, but I remember as early as Jetpack Joyride. I don't know if y'all played that game, but they had that thing after you got done and you had to spin the wheel to see what kind of prize you got. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying it's right on 2K's, whatever, but I'm just saying it's not just like, it's in every game for kids. Like, not every game, but a lot of games for kids. I mean,
this entire controversy did end up being a little bit of a positive that there was... The game looked a little bit less like a casino, but either way, at the end of the day, it is something.
It didn't bother me one way or another.
Major part of this game pre-launch.
It definitely was, because 2K had to change a lot of stuff.
I don't think 2K have had this much controversy ever as they had.
They had to change a lot of stuff.
YouTubers making videos about it. These videos got hundreds of thousands, if not close to millions of views, millions combined anyway. And anytime you searched up NBA 2K20, the only thing that came up pre-launch was about the casino. It got to the stage where no more MyTEAM news was being released. They wouldn't let Cash post any videos about MyTEAM. And also, people didn't even know if the game was going to launch with the MyTEAM mode. In the end, they took out just the TT offline game mode, but people legitimately did not know if 2K were going to release the game with their main moneymaker game mode. That is how crazy this controversy was.
And that nobody knew. Nobody knew if it.
Later, we got our only info pre-launch, and this was only a couple of days before 2K came out. I'm pretty sure this was in September by the time this video was released, and this was really all we saw. And it was a video from CashNasty. So thank God for Cash. He actually went over everything about this game mode, so we could straight away see the Dwayne Wade spotlight challenges.
That was the spotlights were honestly a pretty cool idea.
Different choices, not only one, which was Will Chamberlain. There was 3 different choices for the Galaxy Opal reward.
I was excited at this point because I saw David Robinson, and I just got so excited, man.
How easy it was.
I got so excited.
But if you guys remember last year, how big the grind was for that wilt, for I think Ambish.
It was a grind.
How big of a deal it was for him. No one knew what the story was going to be like this year. However, the pack opening part, we weren't that interested. But what we did notice was, I couldn't find it here, but was that Simmons was actually a power forward, and also that there was no badges. The fact that there was no badges meant that people thought either badges were gone, or that badges were a thing.
And here's the thing. I'm going to talk about badges for a little bit here. I do like the fact that you can't necessarily apply badges to specific players. Because otherwise we would have had, Bill Russell with gold range pre-250. But I will say this. As much as I don't like you being able to apply badges, there should not be 75 badges in the game. That's a little overboard. Like 75 badges is a little too much. It's a little too much.
Nobody could put on.
Nerf that a little bit. And in the end, 30 is fine.
And also going over to collector level rewards. Again, this wasn't something that I was too interested in, to be honest. Looking at these rewards, these are the type of things that I've never completed collector level. I have no interest in ever doing it. This
and they
year was
weren't that
actually more worth
good
it than ever. But what was interesting?
No, DBG, what you just said is wrong because last year we got Opal Giannis, remember? Opal Giannis was forever the best player in the game. So this year we got Opal Anthony Davis, and even in March and April wasn't the best player in the game. So I think you're wrong on that.
Seeing this was the Isaiah Thomas card.
But
the fact that he had 3 Evos, so he Evo'd up to a Galaxy Opal, and they confirmed he Evo'd up to a Galaxy Opal as well. Having not seen Evo cards, and the novelty of that was huge. Anytime
Evo cards were pretty cool.
We got excited being like, oh, look, we can evolve this card and make it better. Because, yeah, it's not the most interesting topic right now, but it is something that we thought was very, very interesting.
Yeah, going into the game, we thought it was going to be, a big thing, and it's just...
This screen was basically the end of it. Again, something that we thought maybe there was a little bit of use for in terms of tips and tricks. We don't know what the community polls are going to be. Team of the week might help certain people. Like, in the end, I don't think the community hub is really that useful. However, at the end of the day,
it's not useful at all
for new players, and it's not like...
Okay, you can say it's something for new users, but if you're looking at the team of the week to build your squad, I saw Derrick Rose and Tracy McGrady and whoever else there for most of the year, so I don't think that's
it's
really
a bad thing
useful.
To have. It's just not something a lot of experienced players will get any use out of. But
well, even new players.
I don't know, maybe they do.
September game doesn't work. Oh my... Don't even get me started about this, yo. You couldn't even complete a 12-0 without getting this. Maybe 50% of the time you could. Otherwise, you'd get an error code. This game was so broken, man. This game was legitimately broken.
2K20 was a disaster starting out as an
Oh
understatement.
my god.
While it wasn't quite WWE 2K20, it was very bad. First of all, before the game even launched in the US, there was a glitch where people were getting 300 tokens.
I remember I was walking, because I was at college. I was walking home from class and somebody posted on Twitter that they just got Penny Hardaway. And I was mad. I was like, whoa, why am I not home for this? I could have had Penny, D-Rob. I've been doing all this triple threat grinding, and people are getting these cards. I was so mad.
So much so that people were complaining about Australia having a time zone difference and saying it's an unfair advantage. And the game mode got reset for everyone, pretty much. Then, as well as that, TT Offline, because of the entire gambling fiasco, didn't come into the game for about a week, which was kind of crazy.
I don't even remember that. I really don't even remember Triple Threat being delayed, because I do remember going into the game, I wanted to get, one of the first Dominiques, so I'm guessing I just grinded all the domination first.
As well as that,
I don't really remember that.
Work. At the start of the game, yeah, there's been times where the auction has reset. The auction was legitimately just did not work. You'd be searching up a card under a certain price, and none of them would come up. And then
I do remember this.
Way higher. And bronzes were showing up in the silver. And
I do remember this
filter.
actually.
It
now
was weird. It just the game didn't work.
I remember
the
this.
game just did not work. As well as that, there was the sub glitch. There was people playing people out of position. Literally.
Yeah, you could put mirrors on at point guard.
Position locks. We just start spamming the player into the position, and eventually you get in.
I forgot about that.
The level glitch lasted till April, where if you logged into your account on a different region, so if you logged in with a different region, you just got your collector level reset, so you couldn't access the auction house. So legitimately, your game got bricked if you logged into your account on a different region other than your own. So if you traveled to a different continent and logged in, or a different server and logged into the account, your account will get bricked. It was so bad. Fixed 2K20 was #1 on trending on Twitter.
2K was so bad when it was released, man.
Absolute disaster.
It was so bad.
But then again, it's
and how many patches did we end up having? We had so many patches.
Then we got Larry Bird. This was the worst card I've ever used in this game. I've used bronze.
No, he wasn't.
I'll take them over this card. This was the worst card I've ever used in 2K.
Okay, DBG needs to relax. Diamond Larry Bird wasn't good. He wasn't good, but he was one of the best shooters we had at the time. Just purely a catch and shoot shooter he was.
He couldn't play defense. He couldn't run. I don't know what it was like. This was my first experience with why I was like quick draw is kind of needed, because this card was awful.
Diamond Larry Bird was
only
bad.
Really two ways people played. So there was run to the basket with someone like a Derrick Rose.
This offense right here, 5 out, is what everybody ran. But the thing was, where things got difficult, until people started getting the Dale Ellis's, Drazen Petrovic, and playing them at the hashes, you could pinch this because nobody could shoot from the wings. And even if you had those cards, people took their chances. And then finding a center that could shoot was another issue. So it was tough. Finally, when I got all 5 people that could shoot, this was by far the easiest offense because the opposing point guard didn't have clamps, so you could literally just run by them.
There was run to the basket with someone like a Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was definitely the best for rim running. And that was definitely a really effective way of playing. Defense was 2-3 zone most of the time.
Absolutely.
No range extender.
Nobody did.
No one really knew about.
So even if you could 5 out, you could just 2-3 zone everyone.
The fact it was green or nothing. And then there was a secondary way people played. Because a lot of times people would help off Mirasan. You just give it to Mirasan and post up. At this stage, post hooks were broken.
Yep.
The speed patch with the things, and Mirasan's the fastest player in the game. He was basically unguardable at the start.
He was truly unguardable.
People realized very early. I was probably the first to realize this. And I sold all my players for a reason. The reason why I did this was that, apart from maybe Kawhi and Paul George, the auctionable players were terrible. Actually, a few of the Dwayne Wade players were okay.
Giannis was good too. That Amethyst Giannis was pretty decent enough.
So like, I don't know, everything and stuff were okay. But the players you were getting from Domination, the fact that like Des Mason was a card that people picked up, and this Gerald Green was really nice as soon as they opened.
Gerald Green was good.
Even when he even up to Ruby. These cards were so much better than the current day cards that everyone realized. They were like, why do we have 10k locked?
And everybody used the meter at this point too, because it was so hard to shoot. It was so hard to green with these cards.
But this card was the first. He was a game changer. This card here was a game.
I never got this Channing Frye evolved, because the thing is, it's like I would think I was on like the diamond boards at the time or something like that. So I think I was running Pink Diamond Bob McAdoo is what I was running. And I had Serge Ibaka pretty early too.
You evoed him up to Ruby, which was not.
He was good though.
To do when you're playing TG
Channing Frye was good.
Was on rookie for the first
I don't even
game.
think Serge was out at this time or even attainable, but that's what I was grinding for. But Channing Frye was good.
Offline came out, so it was also.
I got the card. I just didn't evo him.
If you call the screen and kind of walked into it, a player would hop under the screen, so it was so easy to get up, grind evos and grind badges. So for that reason, Channing Frye, again, he didn't have quick draw straight away, but his release was fast even without it. And with quick draw, he was the best big in the game, and it wasn't close. He was the first counter to Mirasan. If you didn't want to run Mirasan, that was fine.
I was still running Mirasan
for the first while, so he was.
I was still running Mirasan.
Yeah, he shot a lot of full whites, but he was without question exceptional. Then there was multi-dimensional packs, and at the time, a lot of people were excited about like Jordan, Havlicek, and J.R. Smith. However, being completely honest, the 2 point guards were the 2 best cards in this set. So the Emerald
the
Evo,
point guards?
Again, auction as you guys can see, it's still a little bit iffy. But the Emerald Evo Charlie Ward was exceptional.
Charlie Ward was
good.
good.
At this time, if we knew what we know, like if we knew
Charlie Ward was pretty good.
What we know now about the game, about badges and stuff. Him evoed up to Ruby, which is a really quick thing to do, without question. Was the best point guard in the game at that stage. However, we didn't know exactly how big Clamps was, and Daryl Armstrong was also a beast.
Daryl Armstrong was so nice. He dunked on literally everybody. He was so elite.
And that stopped
this Daryl Armstrong was elite.
Moving away from the zones, which was killer. And then we
Kevin Garnett, man. Kevin Garnett was so good.
Kevin Garnett packs. Kevin Garnett himself, when he was evoed up, was exceptional. Rondo wasn't terrible, but that Latrell Sprewell, the Stephon Marbury evo card was unreal. Kobe and Pierce were expensive, but Wally Zerbiak for 4k MT.
It was Wally's world,
guys
man.
In Sprewell and Zerbiak, and then there was Marbury. As well as that, they nerfed Mirasan on this day, which was kind of crazy.
Marbury was a top point guard.
In the game.
He was. He was. Basically Derrick Rose.
And then, obviously, we had gotten previous Earl Monroe legacy, but then we got this
George Mikan changed the game.
He was like, imagine Channing Frye, but not terrible on defense.
George Mikan was good.
Like Frye, he had a better release than Frye.
He was good.
Yeah, he shot a lot of full bars, everyone did, but he was a god tier card. And then
he
we
was
got
so good.
Stockton. Again, a card that was very ahead of his time.
This Stockton card was the best player by far on this game. It wasn't close with the explosive behind the back. He was definitely the best card in the game.
We didn't know quite how good he was. We didn't know quite how good things like Hall of Fame clamps were, and it was actually the last Stockton we got until last good Stockton we got until
this Stockton was so good though. And he was so good. I rode with this Stockton for a long time. I definitely did. He had such a good release too. Heat checks. I don't think I ever ran a heat check card though. I don't think I ever did.
In October, we finally got a good player of the month reward. So it
Amari was good.
It was the Larry Bird reward.
He was good.
But we actually got Amari Stoudemire. I used Amari as my center for quite a while. Mm-hmm. He was very much like a better version of...
I would just compare him to kind of George Mikan, yeah. George Mikan is who he is kind of like.
We got packs where I was kind of like, oh, I'm very iffy on these. Steve Francis was the only good
These weren't very good. And Steve didn't even have clamps.
Jerome Kersey was insane.
Kersey was good.
Emerald all the way up
Kersey
to Diamond,
was good,
which was crazy, as well as having most of the best badges in the game. He was for about 2 days the best card in my team.
Without question, he was good.
When he came out, I'm not questioning it at all. He was the best card in the game when he was evoed up. for about 2 days until they came out with X-Man, who was just literally cursing.
T-Diamond Xavier was so good, man.
He was a better jump shooter than Kersey. He was faster. He was longer. He was
so good, man.
He could play at the 3 or 4. This card was unbelievable. And X-Man's new card is really, really good as well.
It is. The Opal is nice. Yeah, this T-Diamond Xavier was so good. McDaniel.
Then we got this pack right here.
Terrence Ross was good. I promise you, T-Ross was nice.
People were side with the Wilt, but I never liked that Wilt card.
Wilt was terrible.
Cards that I really think made a difference out of these.
Terrence Ross.
Kevin Love. And that T-Ross, offensively, was the best.
He was so good on offense.
Wing in the game.
I used him in 250.
Kevin Love. We didn't have any range extender bigs at this stage, so him being a range extender big alone meant that he was in a lot of squads, and a lot of people...
He was, but he was so bad on defense.
Yeah, he wasn't good on defense, but Terrence Ross was next level, lads. Like,
he didn't ever get clamps, but he was so good.
Expensive even to just get his Ruby card. However,
I evoed this Terrence Ross right away because I wanted to use him in 250.
He was so good as a Ruby. It was only a matter of like
that diamond was nice. Trust me,
I never did.
That diamond was nice.
Then there was the 250k tournament. So no one knew how it was going to run. If the tournament point system was going to be the same as last year, turns out it was.
It was the same basically.
So coming into the tournament, I didn't know what to expect, really. I didn't do particularly well in 2K19, but you never know, I was a bit confident. So, week 1, Ty, Goggles, Splash, and Yurik.
And here's the thing, week 1, the squad you matched up with ranged from, comparable to yours, and guys running, a pretty bad squad. They'd still be running Amethyst Steph. And it really just, I got blessed week 1 to be able to qualify. And then future weeks made me even more mad. But week 1 kind of, went how I would not necessarily say expect, but, me, Goggles, Splash, Yurik is ineligible, but Maddie, Dimes, Lowry, Bronson, Jin, and all these guys are competitive players. Every one of them. So, you can say whatever you want about the qualifier system not being good, but at least 8 out of the top 10 are competitive MyTEAM players. And all 4 of them that qualify are competitive MyTEAM players. So
Yurik is
I'm gonna just say that
from Belarus.
I'm gonna just say that
he actually couldn't enter because of his country. However, Maddie or Brown Boy ended up getting in instead.
But can we go back and talk about how the reward card is Terrell Brandon, right? Okay, forget the Evos. If you get top 10, and there's probably 10, 20, I don't know, a ton of people that played in this. You get top 10 and you get Terrell Brandon. Can't we get somebody that's going to be useful?
He actually couldn't.
That's just terrible.
However,
that's the thing.
Ended up getting
it's just terrible.
Then we ended up with the Dirk Packs. So I was very excited about these packs. However,
they weren't good.
Cards really, in the grand scheme of things, were that.
Tracy was okay.
However, if you guys do remember my Devin Harris investments, I bought like 100 of him at 500 MT. I made a little bit MT discarding, but I'm safe to say not very good investments in investing in Devin Harris. Then, remember heat checks, lads? Remember heat checks? Remember how they made it a big deal being like, oh, there's going to be certain levels.
I do remember this.
And I think the reason why heat check didn't work, because at times we had like 97 overall Kawhi Leonard. But the problem was that
if you don't adjust badges, it doesn't matter.
Like no current NBA player has quick draw, so
KCP.
No one was ever going to use the heat check because you could just use.
I know some, but some of them do because I played Play Now, so I'm pretty sure they have the same badges. And I know some of them do.
It was the most important badge in the game, and
Gary Harris might.
Check cards just didn't have the badge, so yeah, it was one of the weird things.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I might be wrong. Actually, I'm probably wrong. I doubt any of these cards do have quick draw. I doubt they do because these cards are different than the cards in Play Now. They are. Because Play Now, is a little
Then we had
different.
Line Set. This was our first really great pack. So Clay Thompson was a great card, except he had a weird glitch where he used to match up to your team centers. I don't know what was wrong with it. Kevin Durant, great offense. He couldn't play defense. Exact same with Peja. Exact same with Gilbert Arenas. For me, the biggest things were LaFrance was an unbelievably good cheap player.
I never liked LaFrance.
One of the best cheap shooters in the game, and that's why
Mobley was okay.
Quite a bit. So there was a lot of good players for cheap, and for me anyway, like
I didn't love this at all. I'm just not even going to. I just didn't like that.
First moments of the week. I'm telling you,
same with these guys.
I was so happy. I was so happy with this because I felt like it was a really, really great thing in game.
It was, but these cards weren't anything.
New cards each week, and we did.
I did like it. I did like it.
You'll see later on that moments of the week were actually probably the biggest sets we were getting. The weird thing
some weeks,
of the week was that RJ Barrett and Kobe White's pictures are mixed up. However, they both were very, very good cards. Trae Young, not so much.
Trae Young was bad, man. Shea was out of this. Trae was by far the best.
But Trae Young, I think, was the first card in this game with Hall of Fame range extender. However, he just wasn't good. I'm sorry, Trae Young. This is not a game for Trae Young. He couldn't play defense. He had defense, I think, in the 60s. I think his lateral quickness was only in the 60s as well. Like, he was
wow.
He was,
and people locked him in because he had half range. They were probably excited.
This is not really my team related, but 2K literally made the game free. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. You guys might think I'm not being serious here. 2K made the game free. Yeah. 2K were giving out free copies of NBA 2K20 to so many people. It turns out that I don't think many people were spending money on like packs and stuff. So they wanted to give the game to people that had paid like money for microtransactions in previous years and hadn't in 2K20. However, I think really the reason was that 2K, we can see it now that most people spend money on the game later on in the year.
I didn't even know this happened. I didn't even know they gave out the game for free. I didn't even know that.
However, with 2K, I think they were expecting similar spending patterns to the end of 2K19. However, it's always going to drop. Just like the start of 2K21 is going to drop from how it is now. It's always going to drop because people aren't going to spend the money till the juice cards come out. So
this is true.
More people
a lot of people spend money end game. It's so true.
It just wasn't the right time to do it. But yeah, that's the very end of November, and that ends a kind of boring month, to be completely honest, in 2K.
I got so mad at this. So I qualified month 1, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take month 2 off, just see what happens, relax. I was actually spending time with my family, but I was excited to watch some other people qualify, and then this happened. You know, I was so angry.
So November, we got the best by a mile reward we had.
Baron Davis was so
in terms
good.
Of like comparison to the rest of the game, the best 12-0 reward we had ever gotten. Maybe Finley was better.
No, Baron Davis was better.
Quick draw, which at the time, not quick draw, steady. Everyone had steady at that time. He had goal quick draw. His release was
Baron was
really,
fire.
really nice.
He was
had
fire.
Goal clamps at the time, which not a lot of point guards had. As well as that, he was an elite dunker. At the time, there wasn't any giant point guards in the game. Like, he was the best point guard in the game at that stage. It was between him, really, and John Stockton.
Him and Stockton.
Davis ahead of him.
I like
then
Stockton
on the 1st
a little
November
bit more.
As well,
but
we got Paul George, who was by far the best wing in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, we had some great offensive wings. He could do everything. He had a good release.
I didn't really ever run Paul George just because I had Richardson and
range extender.
I had J. Rich and Dominique.
He was
but
ultra long.
Paul George definitely was nice. I probably didn't use him as much as I should have.
I'm pretty sure he had silver steady. It really did not matter. This was probably the best wing in the game all the way up to Christmas. Well, Christmas Eve. Then they patched 5 out. So you were seeing so many squads just running giants and 2-3s.
They patched 5 out. And did they really patch it? No, there was still definitely ways to run it. But they patched our way of knowing it. And for the time, it was tough.
It took about a week till people figured out how to do it. Go 5 out again. But before that, literally no new freelancers. And everyone was just running giants, which was mad. Then they came out with these packs right here.
I remember this right here. So everybody completed all those spotlight sims, whatever, to get this diamond magic. And everybody was so mad. And I just sat back and I was like, guys, I told you so. If you get a grind for a free card, he's not going to be that good. And I knew that whatever reward wouldn't be usable in 250K, so I didn't even grind for the card, but a lot of people did. And they really sold people on this magic card.
And honestly,
there's nothing here.
Great cards. This Giannis is good.
Giannis was good for the time.
Like, IT wasn't good. That Magic Johnson, in my opinion, was not a very good card.
He was terrible.
Kevin McHale was pretty good as well because he had ultra long legs. However, that Kelly Tripucka card, if you guys don't remember that card, I couldn't find any footage for some reason.
I don't remember him at all.
But he had like 107 strength. He got Hall of Fame quick draw when he got evoed up to a 7.
Look at his arms. I mean, you can see his 99 strength, man.
And then his next evo was like plus a certain strength. So it literally was like up to 107 strength. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like, there was a bunch of these evos. I think Vinny Johnson had as well, where he was plus 100 in certain stats.
Wow.
But it was kind of mad what they did with the evos for these specific cards. Then that Magic
was terrible.
He fit a purpose. He wasn't good. He was not good.
Terrible,
he was slow. Man. He was sluggish. He couldn't play defense. He couldn't play anywhere but point guard. He couldn't shoot the ball. He had a slow release. He had like one thing going for him and one thing only, and it was 5-out post-up cheese. However, I'm pretty sure at this stage people didn't know how to 5-out. So you were seeing Magic Johnson. I don't think I ever came up against Magic Johnson. And when I did come up against Magic Johnson, I loved it because he couldn't play defense, and I just run around him with
so bad. You literally ran.
Then we got another Moments of the Week set, and this set here, like, it kind of set the tone for Moments of the Week. We got Jonathan Isaac, who was insane for a Sapphire card. We got two Diamond cards who could flat out shoot it. They weren't exceptional.
No, those Diamond cards were terrible.
Wiggins was a good card as well.
Wiggins was solid.
Dame Lillard could dunk and had Hall of Fame limitless range. He was literally like a better offensive
Dame was good,
except he didn't have clamps. I didn't use
no
Lillard,
clamps,
but he wasn't exceptional.
He was good on offense.
And then this happened.
Okay, I'm gonna let DBG go through it, and then I'm going to talk.
250k tournament.
I'm going to talk.
We were waiting on into it, and right before that, they came out with this Jeff Petrie card. This Jeff Petrie was our first real. It was our first real like introduction to what Wade base was like on any sort of quick draw.
And he was
because
nice,
obviously the Park guys knew about 98 about Wade base, not the Park the Pro-Am guys mainly. However,
that release is so smooth.
This card was ridiculous. He was literally a Wade clone. He was away.
And I can't say I ever really ran this card, but I probably should have, man.
He just goes to the Pro 3 behind the back into a Wade snatchback. Like, he literally was a Wade clone, which was kind of crazy.
I probably should have used this card more than I did, because I didn't really use him that much.
Then, right before the 250k, 2K actually upgraded a lot of the Evo cards.
They did, yep. I think I had all of them at this time, honestly.
So, they upgraded them all by giving them quick draw. They just gave a bunch of them quick draw, like. They upgraded them a lot more throughout the year, but this time...
Which quick draw is what you need, really.
However, this was it. You have not qualified. Basically...
Okay, so I'm going to start here. I was actually in a hotel. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was in a hotel. Eating lunch, I think. Eating lunch with my family. I had my phone. I was watching what was going on, and then I see... I think it was Shump. That couldn't play. And one thing I always made sure to do myself, right? I always made sure to do myself.
However,
is right here, when you clicked on this before this tournament started, it always said you either have qualified or you haven't qualified. And the thing is, all you had to do to qualify, I think, was win 10 unlimited games during the month. So a bunch of people would win 10 unlimited games. One place it would say you qualified. Another place say you wouldn't qualify. I would always just qualify again until it said you have qualified on both. In the first month, I don't think it was a big deal because people were saying you're fine, you'll do it, you'll get in. But I always made sure to have that extra step done. In 2K, you can't have this, man. You can't have this happen in which people lose a chance on $250,000. This shouldn't even have been in the game. Shouldn't even have had the chance to happen. And yet 2K strikes. Once again, this was absolutely ridiculous, man. I was mad for the people who were unable to qualify. Like I said myself, didn't really affect too much.
You have not qualified. Basically, 50% of the people that clicked in, it said they didn't qualify. So,
but I will say I do think there was a reason to it. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember the first month, it's like I'd won countless unlimited games on my account, and then it said you have not qualified yet. So the night before, I made sure it said you have qualified now. So I won like 10 extra games that night before. But I don't know. Maybe that's just 2K on what it said for me. Whether that happened or it didn't happen, either way, 2K is at fault here.
I'm pretty sure Air Up There or Yurik won it again. I'm pretty sure he qualified 3 of the 4 weeks, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that beat him, like in any of the European qualifiers. But yeah, so this week I can't even remember who qualified. Like, it's not.
I think this week Lucker. I'm trying to think who else. Lucker. I don't even know. I can't even remember. Who qualified.
Maybe Lucker qualified.
I think Lucker did, but
I
that
know
was
YBC qualified.
This
can't
week?
remember who got in. I think Jomar didn't qualify. He qualified the next one.
Yeah, was this the week they got? No.
Either way,
is this November? Oh no, this is October.
This was seen as like the quote unquote lucky qualifiers because a lot of the comp guys just weren't able to play. Like Shump, guys like that, legitimately was not able to play in the tournament because of the glitch. Like, again, I wouldn't consider myself comp. I don't think I was going to qualify, but again, I didn't lose a game in the month of November, so I just never know. It's one of the.
Wait, was this the week? I can't remember. Was this the week in which people got an extra hour to play, or was I think that was November? Honestly,
looking at it,
no,
with how low
this is November, right? This has to be November. Yes, this is November. Has to be. This was the week. I swear people got an extra hour to play their games too. So not only were some people unable to qualify, other people got an extra hour to play their games. So, you know, if you were top 4 after 4 hours, no, there's a 5th hour. And then some people, you know, got replaced.
Total,
so
the point total I got in the final week
it was bad. This week was bad because people got 5 hours instead of 4 hours to qualify. And that was bad. That was bad.
Smoked first round, so it doesn't
that
really
was
matter.
bad.
But it was kind of just, it was kind of a rough experience for any of those comp guys that really want to take it seriously, especially because it's 250,000 on the line.
That's the thing.
An error that just isn't letting you play a qualifier is something that really...
It should have never been in the game.
And for some reason as well, they added an extra hour.
That's the...
no reason this week.
And that could have lost somebody 250K.
And then at the end of the whole thing, with like 5 minutes to go, he was number 3. They added an extra hour and he ended up just not qualifying because he was being stalled out of games. So he was qualifying, and then with 5 minutes to go, they just randomly added an extra hour and he didn't qualify. This was an absolute shambles, this specific 250K qualifier.
That was bad.
The whole qualifiers were shambles. Then the next week, on the Friday, I'm pretty sure, we got the packs for Dwight Howard.
Ew.
For me, these cards weren't too relevant.
None of
I did
them.
end up getting the Blake Griffin card, who was incredible at the time as the reward for this whole thing.
Oh, Pink Diamond Blake, he was good.
But
Pink Diamond Blake
still
was
to this
good.
day I use in overall G squad, so he was a fantastic gold. I can't remember any of these other cards being that great. Vince wasn't good.
Either.
However, Hida Turkoglu. That's the reason I was excited about this set, about these cards. You had to drop 150 points in a game's Evo, which you obviously did rookie Dom. But yeah, Hida Turkoglu for me was just a fun experience using a card that I was so good with in NBA 2K19, and he still kind of felt the same. Like, they gave him base 8, which is not a release I like. At the end of the day, no one likes base 8 this year. However,
base 8 is bad this year.
Moves. I just didn't shoot that many threes with him. Did I use the card a lot? No. I didn't even evo him up to Amethyst on my main account. However, he was definitely fun for a couple of games. And yeah, he has the laner.
That laner
then
is
we got
smooth.
actually the Ruby Kobe White, which is really interesting because his Sapphire was a very good card.
I never
for some
used
reason,
this
the Ruby
card.
was worse than the Sapphire because they gave
Never
him way
used
worse
this
gun
card.
tendencies. So I'm pretty sure they gave him steady as well, and Sapphire didn't have it. But either way,
anything for a free card usually
on
isn't
rookie
going to be
to get
worth
a
it.
fairly,
Usually.
fairly good card.
And that's just
So,
the
that was
truth.
great.
Even a
And
Dominic
the best
Chase
card of the game
version.
came out.
Zach LaVine was so
Zach
good,
LaVine.
man.
Pretty sure these were the same day for the same moments of the week set. But man, Zach LaVine.
He was nice.
This card was so good. He had
Trey
obviously
Burke
LaVine
base.
similar to Trey Burke, go quick draw. He was so expensive for a reason. There was a reason he was 500 plus K. There was a reason that Mitchell was 500K. This card is unbelievable. Then
That card
we
was
got
good.
a dynamic duo update. We got our first one of the year, and it was awful. All they did for all these cards was bump up their shot IQ. And I'm not even kidding. None of these cards got better at anything.
I was going to say, I don't remember this at all.
For every single one of them. These were all
I don't remember it.
duos. Then this happened. This was when
I remember this.
This was my I told you so moment. 2K released an exact copy of a Luka Doncic card.
I remember
except
this.
one of them can play point guard and one of them can't. Yep, an exact copy. Obviously, people are going to want to play Luka Doncic point guard, but you're going to have to open packs for that. If you locked in for your other Luka Doncic, tough, because 2K are going to release the exact same card with a different position, different card art. It was something I said exactly what was. I literally said it at the very start of the year that was what was going to happen, and I remember like myself.
And from 2K's standpoint, they can release more content this way.
Phantoms
It's
even made an entire like 40-minute video.
I mean,
on his
it
channel
is what
talking
it
about
is. I mean,
stuff that was wrong on my team because of this. This was the beginning of the end, lads. This
and you
was,
knew it was
you know,
coming.
people realized
You
position
knew it
locks
was
will not
coming.
work in this
You
game.
just it was a matter of
This card was
when,
a huge
not
thing for how
if.
my
You
team
knew it
was.
was going to happen.
Then we've got
This
the
content drop was
These
crazy.
cards were insane.
These were
Honestly,
crazy.
they were. Like
These
that
were
Rose
crazy.
card was just better
Than everybody. He was better than
That Kobe
everybody.
card was
Wasn't even
absolutely
close.
fantastic.
Kobe was great too.
Absolutely fantastic. We're still one of the best cards in the game up to like January.
Yeah,
So,
he was good.
That is it for the month of November.
Odom, this Odom card was elite. 40 gold badges. He could do it all, man.
So we started off December with the Player of the Month award, and this Clyde Drexler was awful. Oh my god.
Good
this card
lord,
was
this
terrible.
card was
Base 4,
bad.
bad dribble save.
Imagine giving this as a player of the month. Right after Amari, right? Or no, right after Baron, Amari. I don't know who it was,
Dribble
but
saves.
I was excited for
Couldn't
this.
defend.
I was
He couldn't
excited.
do anything.
And then we get
He
Clyde, man.
was
No clamps.
terrible,
Nothing.
lads. He was absolutely terrible.
He was bad.
However, early
Spicy
December,
P
we got
was
great
good.
games of the week.
Giannis was good. AD,
These
all
right
these
here,
cards.
We got Buddy, who
they
didn't
were
miss,
good,
although he
man.
didn't play defense. We had Giannis, who didn't really play much offense apart from this rim running hop step, but he was elite.
He was elite.
Harden, Pink Diamond. I hated him, but if
he was good,
put that card in Shump's hands, he could win games by himself. AD was a solid defender, also a good pick and pop jump shot.
AD was good.
And that Pascal Siakam card, again, if you didn't want to
Spicy P was so good, man. Fantastic. And even I think he had gold catches shooting, maybe no steady. He might have had steady, but I don't know. He was straight green even from a step behind the line. He was so good.
Right. Even the Rick Barry card wasn't good.
Rick Barry was terrible. All these packs were bad.
Was okay.
All these cards were bad.
Iggy when his Evo was okay. Drew Holiday Evo'd up was okay.
They just were bad. I'm sorry, they were bad.
Then we got another fantastic moment of the week.
Jimmy was nice.
Shooting Bertans. We got Rui Hachimura, who did almost everything except having clamps.
Jimmy was nice.
Aaron Gordon, who could shoot and had clamps. Lonnie Walker, who was just blowing by anyone who didn't have clamps. And Jimmy Butler, who had quick first step clamps. And
Jimmy Butler was so good.
In the game at the time.
He was good.
Then the 13th of December happened. Man, this batch of cards. These cards were madness. It was madness, these cards right here. Like, I was in London for
Odom was so good,
2K
man.
League Invitational when these came out. And I remember looking at these cards being like, these are, like, this Lamar Odom's the best card by a mile in the game. And he was.
It wasn't close. He had 40 gold badges.
6'10" small forward. He had 47 badges, which at the time was a ridiculous
That was a ton. And I kept telling people, like, that I was close with it. Like, yo, Ty, what do you think about? And I said, Lamar Odom is going to play for me in 250K. And he did. He definitely did. The only thing about him is he had 81 speed, but you could easily get that boosted.
Badges. And you've got Lamar Odom with some vital ones Hall of Fame and every other badge gold.
Lamar Odom was so good.
Genuinely didn't even have steady, which most good cards at the time had. So
he was so good.
Lamar Odom, like one of legitimately the best cards. This card's still usable today. He's not good today. Don't get me wrong, he's not good. But if you have him in your team, you still have a chance. Like he is still.
He's not going to kill you as long as you got him a speed shoe or whatever.
Unbelievable 6, base 11. This was the beginning of the end for ridiculous cards in this game. And there was Chris Bosh, who was really just a pick.
Bosh was okay. I never used him, but he was. I used him. I never had him on my account, but he was okay.
I thought he had some weaknesses. And then there was Simmons.
He's
6'10" point guard. Yeah, he had a weakness.
The thing about this is, when Ben Simmons came out, people weren't excited because he couldn't do the explosive behind the back. You know, people were excited. I should say that. People were excited. They just didn't think he was the best point guard in the game because he couldn't do the explosive behind the back. But now, you know, once it gets patched, it changes the whole grand scheme of things, man.
Out of position. It really kind of summed up the way 2K was going to go. And there was Giant Taco Fall, who was a novelty, but that was really it.
He wasn't even in,
Then we got another really good moment of the week batch.
Jaren Jackson was good.
Jackson with Joel Embiid. We got Karl Anthony Towns.
Jaren Jackson was good.
Apart from the fact that they were all three of them were price fixed and you could only buy them for 34,000, no more, no less. It was kind of weird. Then the 20th of December, I think this was that day because it was the day I handed in my thesis. We got a terrible batch of cards with Giannis.
Giannis, man. Giannis was so good,
One of the funniest things about this batch of cards was that they made every one of these cards 6'4". As you guys can see, Jerry West 6'2". Just going.
I think I do remember this.
For his pink diamond. However, you went to this Jerry West here. He was 6'4". They literally made every single card, whether they were taller or smaller.
I think I do remember this.
Every single card in this set 6'4", which is mad. Like literally every single one of them 6'4", no taller, no smaller. Whoever it was putting these cards in the game just made a huge mistake, and it didn't make a difference to the cards. They were all 6'4". Then this Giannis card.
Giannis was so good.
He was just game breaking.
He was so good. Quick draw.
Half quick for a step.
Normal 2. We didn't know how good normal 2 was at the time, but
he was the best hop step in the game, and his jump shot was cash at the time. Obviously outdated, but was great at the time. Later on that day, 2K actually added Zach Randolph and Kirk Heinrich into TT offline boards. And the first time they really gave us some
Yo, this Dion Waiters can't be overlooked too. Dion Waiters was okay. When he came out, you know, some people in the comp community really wanted to get that Dion Waiters card. He was okay. He was definitely okay.
The Dion Waiters card that from the TT offline boards was next level.
He was definitely good.
My point guard till like February.
He didn't have Unpluckable though.
Came out, he was in my squad.
He didn't have Unpluckable.
That Dion Waiters card, as a Ruby card, was unbelievable, lads.
He definitely was. He was good.
Unbelievable. He took ages to Evo. He was not an easy Evo. That's all I'm going to say. He took a day. It was a day at least Evo him up to Diamond. It was not an easy job.
I don't think I ever Evo'd him, but he was good.
Badges. He had clamps, range extender, quick draw, quick for a step. He could handle the ball. He was unreal, lads. He was unreal. And even as a Diamond, he was still unbelievable till like February. Like, as far as Rubies go, he was in that conversation with Dante DiVincenzo. But like, he was my...
Dion was nice, man. There's no doubt about it. He was nice.
Starting 2 guard, I can't remember, for 250k when I was finishing top 50 in January. Like, this card was absolutely ridiculous. He was one of the best cards in the game when he came out. And funny, he was the lowest rated of them all, but he was the best by a mile.
He was good.
Then Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
The night that changed everything in the community. Really, the night that changed
Ray
everything.
Allen, Tracy McGrady, and the gigantic Yao Ming. Charles Oakley, a criminally underrated card because of Huff Intimidator and clamps and everything. Criminally underrated. But, man, with the behind the back...
Tracy McGrady was
he was the best.
He was by far the best player in the game with the behind the back of the game. It wasn't truly close. And Ray Allen had an incredible release as well.
It wasn't even close.
But T-Mac was by far the best player in the game.
Any, like, bigger gap between T-Mac and the next best?
There's not. There wasn't. Besides day one mirror sign.
Since then. It was absolutely ridiculous how good that card was. Then we obviously knew Zion was coming in some way on Christmas Day, but lads, these cards were game changing. They were
Zion wasn't ever anything, but
that everyone was running Ray Allen and T-Mac because they're 2 and 3.
Everybody.
Then we got a Christmas code. I can't believe I had to use the word litmus. Like legitimately some like Jake Paul type code, but it's honest one of the best locker codes we'd ever seen at the time.
75 tokens.
Stage,
I don't even remember this.
Paige Diakovic was going for like 500k. Because everyone was trying to lock in for that terrible Klay Thompson. The problem with that Klay again, he was a good card, but he kept matching up the centers, and he had
Klay wasn't it for me at least.
Pretty okay card. He only went for like 20k after the code, but he was going for.
I would just want these tokens, man.
It was very hard to get at the time.
That's probably what I tried to get.
Quite decent, and that Will Chamberlain as well was going for quite a bit. I think he was over 100k as well. So. This code was huge. It was either getting like a Zion card, some MT, or a card that at the time was going for over 100k. So I managed to land in for Zion Williamson, and I was kind of happy with it on this account, but in the end, I don't think I ever used the Zion card.
Zion was not it. But
then, a couple of days later, Best of 2K20 packs came out for the first time. And this crashed the market like it's never... Like, it completely crashed it. Mm-hmm. It completely crashed the market like it had never been seen before.
Anytime there's, like, packs like these...
It held their value. However, literally cards were dropping by half.
Because 2K releases them for that sake.
Twice the amount of them were coming onto the market. It was crazy.
Don't even get me started about this.
So January 1st started off with an update to, I'm pretty sure it was Penny granted on D-Rob.
Penny. I think Penny got clamps.
I can't remember for sure, but I know for a fact that
I don't really remember, but...
So it was like the second.
They all got Evos. Grant Hill actually got quite a few. I think Grant Hill got the most, to be honest with you.
4 different upgrades. It was kind of crazy. Then we got Dirk as our player of the month.
Another terrible player of the month.
Bad lads. Dirk was so bad.
Can we start getting good player of the months if we keep this unlimited system?
I get it. They gave him half limitless range, but that release, he was clunky. He was slow. He couldn't play defense.
He was terrible.
And this card was terrible. He was terrible. And even this Dr. J wasn't
Dr.
good.
J should have been good,
man.
Dr.
J in the first
he should have been good.
He was not good.
But Isaac liked it, but he was the only person.
They made up for it by releasing the New Year's resolution.
These cards were good.
This was kind of a sign of where 2K were going to go and that there was going to be absolutely no realism for the rest of the year because these cards literally were.
Bill Russell, man. Really he was so good.
And they become good at whatever they're bad at. So Hito Turkley became a lockdown defender. Hito was godly, that card. Gilbert Arenas became a lockdown defender.
Gil was good. DeRozan was incredible.
Russell became a sharpshooter. Bob Pettit became a worthless still. He was terrible. But Andre Ayton became a sniper. It was crazy. This Bill Russell card as well, 90.
Bill Russell was so good, man. His release was gross.
Looking at it now is a really bad release, but
at the time it was.
Big man could shoot.
At the time, I loved it.
Most of them could either shoot or had quick draw, not both.
I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I did like Bill Russell.
As well as that, he could guard people on the perimeter. He was the second best center in the game behind David Robinson at this stage.
I liked him. I really, truly did like him.
Unreal card. Unreal. Then we had the update with flashbacks. J.R. Smith was like, if he had better SIGs, this card would have been ridiculous. He could shoot.
He just had terrible SIGs. This Larry Bird, though, changed the game.
However,
man.
He had awful
Larry Bird was so good.
Larry Bird, that was ridiculous. And you'll see a little bit later in the month just how ridiculous that Larry
He was so good.
How big an impact that card made. Then, obviously, the card was unbelievable stats and badges wise, like stuff we had almost never seen before. Like he had half range extender. I'm pretty sure he had half quick draw as well. As well as that, at the time,
he could explosive.
Right there, he could do the explosive. Again, I wasn't a very good dribbler. I could only do it off a Hezzy at that stage. It doesn't really matter. Larry could still go and do it. So his dribbling was ridiculous.
He was good.
He was a sniper. Then we got the final moments of the week. So
I didn't love
really
Jokic. Some people locked him in.
2K just randomly said, you know what, we're not going to give it to you anymore. So obviously they weren't making enough money for moments of the week and thought they could find other ways of getting us cards, but that was really disappointing. It was something I really, really enjoyed.
I like moments of the week
Then
too.
we got the Kristaps packs as well as the final reward.
Oh, don't get me started. I qualified top 10 again, and I get Byron Beck.
Terrible.
Just terrible, man.
That Bryant card was insane. KP himself was a pretty okay card.
Byron Beck, Diamond. What is he doing for me?
Everything else. But for me, that Bryant card was in my 250k squad. Then the final week of 250k.
Now, I will say this. I'll say this. Here's what I will say. Is this the final week? No, we still got... Oh, yeah, the December people didn't load in. Okay, so as you guys can see, in November, it was YBC, Clay, Lucker, and Gaming Guy. I will say this. I'll say this. Maybe I didn't play this week. I swear I did. I think I started to play, and then might have... No, because I didn't watch Ready for Isaac. Anyways, you guys can see Splash qualified at the top. FSU, absolutely incredible player, qualified in second. Jin, third. Isaac, fourth. Moneyman, fifth. Shump, sixth. Quintorius, seventh. And Valor's up there too. So, another week, another competitive... You can say whatever you want about the qualifier system. I'm fine with it. Look, I'm fine with the qualifier system. I'm fine with it. You guys can bash me in the comments if you want. At least 80% of the people in 250k are competitive people. At least. It might even be 100%.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
I have like 2,200 points. And that would have gotten me top 10 any other week. And on my way to that 200 points, I beat Uric 111, the guy who qualified all 3 other weeks. I played some of the best.
The thing is, it's just like the game evolved so much, and so it was a lot easier to score points now than it was in the first week.
My life, and I was really sick playing.
We didn't really know how to play the game.
I played probably some of the best 2K I had in my life. And I still only got the 47 in the world. No win by less than 30. Just shows how great those guys up the top were. The worst thing about that was, if you guys can see it, Shump missing out by 1 point. Then the beginning of the end, lads. We just
who qualified him
missing out by.
But this was a weird week too. Because because Splash couldn't re-qualify. So then after Splash, it was like the next 4 go in, and then I remember that Shump situation was interesting. It was just an interesting situation, dynamic there. But it was tight. It was tight.
1 point.
For that.
Then
the last qualifying spot.
Lads, we just got some moments cards, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this isn't too bad." All it meant was moments of the week was over, lads.
Yep.
Moments of the week was over. I'm pretty sure when they released,
it was sad.
They had some moments of the week cards still in packs, but I'm pretty sure when that happened, we were told it was over. Then on the Tuesday of that week, the next day, there was a token update.
And I remember this was like a week before 250k, which I was excited. New token players.
Shoot the ball.
And these cards really were nothing.
He was an absolutely fantastic diamond card.
They weren't even worth using.
He had good SIGs, and still a card that I've tried to use a little bit to this day, and he hasn't been awful. He has not been awful. We then got Reggie Lewis, who was a god in previous years, but he just became outdated quick because he didn't have range extender, and even
and imagine locking in Tony Parker, and then 2 days later, the behind the back being patched.
This day, we still have not seen a better Reggie Lewis. However, Tony Parker, Tony freaking Parker, lads. When the behind the back was in the game, he was the best card in the game, which was absolutely nuts.
Yeah, but it got taken out like
card in this game with the behind the back. However, 2K decided to patch the main dribble move. Literally like 4 days before the 250k tournament. It was...
I think it was Wednesday or Thursday before. We played Saturday, Wednesday or Thursday. I had college, obviously. I was sitting in between classes, and somebody posted a video, and I thought, no way. No way they would take out the behind the back that we all qualified with. There's no way they take out the behind the back that I've been practicing combos, how to get the everything off of that behind the back. I honestly didn't know how to dribble if that behind the back was in the game. Go watch my 250k game. How many dribble moves did I do? Probably slim to none because I didn't know how to dribble.
Madness.
It was just terrible, man.
Crazy stuff right there.
It was just terrible.
For one day, this was the best card in the game.
Yeah.
Then we got the Jeremy Lin
This
packs
this was a
2
big
days
packs
later.
too, because this was
Behind that patch
Friday.
on a Wednesday, these came out the Friday. Then we got like the Carmelo Anthony card and the Kawhi Leonard
Kawhi
card.
was
I remember
incredible.
it hadn't been patched on PC where I was playing, and you could still spam behind the backs even with the new cards, because it took about a week longer for that patch to come.
Kawhi was
so
good.
Fun using Kawhi and Melo with that behind back patch. Then we got the Brown and Roy card as well. This card was unbelievable. He was in my squad till like May.
You could say he was unbelievable, but I still think that Pink Diamond Kawhi had more value for me personally. Just because of his defense. And I didn't know how to dribble. And so it's like,
He was class, lads.
I don't know. It was just interesting. It was just interesting.
Release.
I still think T-Mac was
His
better
camera
than
wasn't
Brandon Roy.
ideal. He didn't have Unpluckable.
Because he didn't have
At the
Unpluckable.
time, it wasn't like Unpluckable was as important as it is now to have.
I don't
but
know. It was
He
important.
was quality. He was absolutely quality. And then the 250k tournament was happening. So nobody knew what was going to happen going into the tournament, because everyone's kind of predictions went out the window with the behind the back, because it was the vast majority of people.
So I'm just going to say kind of my thoughts going into the 250k tournament, right? Going into that week, right? The week leading up to it. Well, obviously, Splash and I don't want to say we were the top two, but from the outside looking in, we were probably the two favorites, right? Splash, New Edition Flash, and I. And then that was a week before. Splash qualified first to try to get on the opposite side of me, because I had the 1 seed. But then a bunch of people passed my score, so it's just kind of a mess in that situation. We ended up on opposite sides still, which is at the time what I wanted, right? At the time what I wanted. I still got a pretty tough draw with Goggles first round. But really, like he's saying, when the 250k tournament, when the behind the back got patched, everything went out the window. People thought Hollywood would win the whole thing because he ran plays. It just everything went out the window.
A lot of people predicted maybe Hollywood could pull it off.
Yep, everybody did,
because he was kind of a play cheeser. Well, not even play cheeser. He was just a play user. Everything's quote unquote cheese. However, the tournament was a bit weird because it was played on such bad lag that it just became a...
And don't get me started about the lag, man. Splash comes out first game, shoots 18% from 3. I think in my game versus Jinsanity, I shot 1 of 9, 1 of 8 from 3. I don't know if it was a combination of lag, different like sliders that we were unaware of. I don't know what it was, but something I want to see change if they do a 250k next year. Whether it be better servers, flying people out with the whole COVID situation. I don't know how that would even work, but something definitely needs to change going into next year.
It became a battle of who can play best while being severely delayed. And fair play to the winners on both systems, which was the Class guy on Xbox, whose defense pulled him through, and Jomar on PS4. Jomar came through a lot of tight games to get to that, and which I watched an awful lot of. Like Jomar coming through against Splash, did a great job again adapting to the servers.
He definitely did.
As well as that, you're going to see it a little bit later what happened Jomar versus FSU. Jomar is without question one of the best MyTEAM players this game. But
Jomar is good.
I told you guys he was going to be iconic.
Okay, I do want to say this though. FSU shot a straight arm for the game. Oh. For those of you who don't know, a straight arm is when you shoot a green and it doesn't let you green, right? It doesn't let you green. So I think Larry Bird makes this shot. And then on the ensuing possession, FSU shoots an open and he gets a straight arm. I think that's what happened. Maybe it had to be like that because FSU did shoot a straight arm for the game. But it is what it is. He greens this.
Game winner for Jomar against FSU. Basically a shot that was worth 250,000 because whoever was winning the PS4 side, I'm sorry, was winning the whole thing.
Yes, but FSU shot a straight arm for the game. Imagine, right? Imagine a situation in which you do everything in your power. You get a perfect release that should be green, and 2K doesn't allow it to be green. And you lose $250,000 because of that. FSU lost $250,000 because 2K decided to give him a straight arm. Look, no matter what way you want to look at it, I'm sorry, FSU. I lost, but I lost by like 5, 6, 7 points. You know, Jin he outplayed me. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I didn't deserve to win the game. FSU, No discredit to Jomar, but he shot a straight on for the game. That's
then
tough.
the Frostbite packs came out to end January. My God, if you bought one of him for 17k, you probably made 100k. Because if you guys don't know, he was over 100k at one stage. AD came out, Magic came out.
Yeah, this was a week after, because I remember after 250k, a week later I had to fly to LA to do my Play Now tournament, and so I was obviously like upset about 250k. As you guys can probably imagine, it's emotional playing for that amount of money. Not to say I was nervous because that was the first big tournament I played in, but it's just a full of highs and lows. When you win your first round game, you're excited. Then you got about 30 minutes to an hour to get ready for your next game. It's just, that was a chaotic day, right? And then after that, I had a week to lab Play Now, try to get ready for that. And then on the airplane, actually, when we landed, I saw these new cards. I saw Magic. I was mad I couldn't use Magic at 250k.
So February starts off with another very, very disappointing reward card for it.
Can we talk about how many bad reward cards we got in a row? Like, it was terrible.
Very, very
Moses
bad
Malone was
We
terrible.
haven't really seen a good one of these rewards since Baron Davis. Like,
and I would say the month of February, I played 0 MyTEAM. 0. I had to lab for Play Now the whole month, try to get ready at the end of February to win $100,000. So
a lot of these cards were great.
That's kind of what I did the whole month of February. But
literally everything.
It was I hate to say this, but it was the best month to miss, because February was just not it, man.
Again, not a card anyone really wanted. Then we got Prime Series 2, where we got a lot of great cards.
Lance was good.
Like this Lance Stevenson, man.
He was good. I used him on my budget squads for a while in my budget baller series, and he was good.
Away with using this
Definitely was good.
And he came out before All-Star break.
He has range.
His card can handle.
Good dribble. He's good.
Clamps.
Definitely is good.
He had everything, lads. This card was ridiculous for budget players. Even up to like April, May, I was still using budget squads. Also, a fantastic Jimmy Butler.
Pink Diamond Jimmy was good.
Unbelievable cone at that stage. Yeah, his release isn't the best.
Definitely was good.
Job, but sure, look, he's got off basically everything else you need. Then there was Dwayne Wade.
Pink Diamond D-Wade changed the game forever.
People running to this day. To this day, this Dwayne Wade card, I did not know how good he was.
He changed the game forever. He truly did.
I didn't know how good he was till about April, but my God, this card was good. He had Dwayne Wade base, obviously. Not obviously. Exum doesn't have Exum base, but he had Dwayne Wade base. He was basically a much, much better Jeff Petrie with elite defense. That's what he was.
He was pretty good on defense. He really was.
As well as Billy got a basket with
D-Wade was definitely that guy for a while.
We got current Series 2 cards. These cards were nothing.
They were terrible. They were just added. Collector level. Yep, that's really all it was.
At the time, we did not know what these were going to be. We didn't know whether they were going to be like upgraded versions of the current cards.
Yeah, nobody knew what these were going to be. It just
too long. Late in that night in MTDB, they had all of the cards on the site.
They just weren't.
We realized kind of quickly that they were literally just current roster cards. But we were very, very kind of like confused. We were intrigued more than anything. Like a couple of my videos on these got high views because we didn't necessarily expect them to be anything great.
These were bad.
Like we were intrigued.
But they were something new. Yeah, something new.
I think it was Shake said basically his prediction was that they were just going to be slightly upgraded current cards, and they would overtake, or they take over from current cards. And he was completely right. So not that relevant in the end, but
not relevant
you know what?
At all.
They're better than normal current NBAs because some of quick draw, I guess. Then we have got the 250k tournament. So this was interesting. This was Jomar versus the class guy, and Jomar walked this. Like, I get it. The second game was kind of close.
Nah, Jomar was in control the whole time, and it is what it is. There's no way around it. Jomar was in control the whole time, watching from home. Kind of hit my feels a little bit, just thinking I could have been there. But, Jomar, shout out to Jomar, man. That dude's good. He's competitive. I played him, went 3 games, post 250, and I ended up winning. But he's definitely good, very good on defense. He's a very good player. He really is.
I'd never watched the class guy play before. He was playing on Xbox. He had the home field advantage because of the delay on Xbox. And Jomar still, I feel, came out very, very comfortable. Class guy made a little bit of a comeback in game 2, but at the end of the day, Jomar just had too much from him in both games, despite having a significantly worse team. So, one very interesting thing was, though, at this event, there was meant to be like locker codes for like Ben Simmons, and the locker code just got completely leaked. People guessed all the codes.
Yep.
And people got a Kobe Bryant mystery pack that no one knew. To this day, no one still knows what it was for. It was for a random, like, blank ruby Kobe Bryant.
Hold up, it was this. I didn't even know it was this close at the end of the game. Because what I remember is Jomar was in control basically the whole game. But hey, it was a 2-point game. If he gets a stop here, hits a shot, it gets interesting.
Hey, no one still knows what it was for. Blank ruby Kobe Bryant. But the code was like 8 Kobe 24 for a Kobe mystery pack. And people still to this day don't know what it was from. And that all happened during the stream. As well as that, they leaked the fact that Galaxy Opal, MJ, and point guard LeBron were going to come. So the market's tanked during the stream. Like, not many people watched the stream for that, but a lot of people knew about these cards.
I definitely watched it, but
a lot of people were like making a bunch of MT, selling cards, and buying low, selling high, based off a stream that was going on. So it had a huge effect on the game, despite not a lot. Like, there was a small extra people that really cared about the winner, but a lot of people were caring about this.
Most people that watched the stream probably could care less who won that game. Here. Truly, I mean,
Michael
truly.
Jordan, Opal. Point guard LeBron.
But yeah,
the fact that we didn't get an Opal until the
this Opal MJ was just
and
ridiculous.
We got a packable Opal in the middle of February. Yeah, we knew the way this year was going to go.
This Opal MJ was ridiculous. But that's what position locks allow you to do. They allow 2K to release a little more content because then they can change the position.
Intangible diamond card we saw. This card
Bridges was pretty good.
He was like a demi at the time.
Plus he had a nice release.
Absolutely ridiculously good at the time. Then we got Bam Adebayo.
Bam was nice too.
Bam Adebayo
was
a 6'10" speed boosting center with range extender.
He was good. He was definitely good.
Like, it was ridiculous. Like,
he was good.
This was February. Like, these were cards that, had they come out in 2K19 in like May, people would have said these cards were insane. But it kind of shows the way the year went.
And I mean, yeah, we had good cards in February. This Kawhi got overlooked.
Still to this day,
he got overlooked so much.
We knew about Pro 8 back then.
It's not even the Pro 8. Like, Pro 8 makes a difference. But even this Kawhi without that tween, like, he is still very good. Like, the best player probably at this time in this game. And I'm just saying, he was so good.
Back when this card came out, you better believe
he was so good.
People would have been tweeting.
His release was absolutely incredible. People would have been tweeting. He still was.
Elite.
He still was the best card in the game, probably.
A country mile of people knew about how to do Pro 8. He still is a more than usable card, and he's a great, great card.
He is so good.
Then also that weekend, Junior to HBK was the first person ever to get the Fireball in NBA 2K20. Not gonna lie, it is one of the most off-putting things I've ever used in game.
I hate the Fireball
plenty of times. It is so off-putting.
However,
it is a great novelty, and
it is. I mean, the thing is, it's good for because what 2K needs to do is they need to appeal to all kind of audiences. So that's not even. It's a good thing. KD was good, man.
Looking back on it, this is the one card I was so shocked came out so early.
He came out early.
Card came out in February.
February 20th, man.
February. He was basically 95 plus in everything.
That's ridiculous to think about.
On half quick draw, like half clamps could handle. He came out in February.
That's like
so good.
That's literally like 6 months.
Buzzer beater packs came
from where we're at now.
A couple of days later. I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure those KD packs, they came out like a Thursday and buzzer beater was Tuesday. I think maybe the next week. Paul Pierce was one of the last cards in this game to come out with steady shooter. Steph Curry wasn't great. That Chris Webber was one of the first big men to come out in the game.
Chris Webber was just
Hall of Fame quick first.
I don't know about Chris Webber, man.
For about 3 days.
I didn't like him. I'm sorry. I didn't like Chris Webber at all.
And then another batch of content came out. Basically, Dwight Howard was.
This was just wow.
That Tracy McGrady card still to this day is quality.
Tracy McGrady's incredible. Paul George is good. Rudy was good.
The best Sapphire in the game. Like, these guys were all unbelievable dunkers because of leap year.
Rudy was so good though. That's the thing.
Defensive stats, and at the time, even like Lonzo and Kawhi and Dwight were incredible. And then we got an upgrade to Dr. J.
When this upgrade happened, he was good.
The worst Opal probably in the game. Actually, no, he was up there with the worst Opal in the game. He was terrible.
He became incredible.
To make him more usable. This is the state he's in now, I'm pretty sure. But this card was
good.
Really good after this upgrade. He was actually
He had that Rudy type release. And then this changed the game forever. Say what you want about any sort of thing. This changed the game because this is really what appeals to everybody, man.
March, the reward was a fantastic Galaxy Opal James Worthy. A card that definitely has become outdated.
He was good at the time. DBG used a no shot meter. What am I seeing? James Worthy was good.
And then, like 2 days later, they came
we get AK.
Better Worthy.
AK was a better Worthy.
Point guard Giannis.
This is what started my love. When we got point guard Giannis, my
6th
love
of March.
started, man. I love him, man.
This card is still one of the top 10 point guards.
This like right after, right? I didn't play all of February basically. So even when like that T-Mac leap year card came out, I wasn't playing my team. I was still in LA, I think, actually, when that card came out. And then, you know, the week later, we get Giannis, and I was like, hold up. And then I started playing the game again. I started playing the game. And I think the 6th of March. Correct me if I'm wrong. This might have still been a little bit early. It was kind of when COVID kind of started. Like, COVID obviously started earlier, but this was kind of when, like, the whole thing with Rudy started. Gobert, I think. So, you know, people started worrying about, you know, the COVID about this time. And really, when people started, you know, at least for my sake, when I got done with college, at least college was online, that's really when I started taking the game very, very serious.
The game was literally about getting Giannis or countering Giannis.
Giannis was so
like
good,
Giannis
man.
Card, he had range. He
was
everything.
so
he
good.
He still is elite. He has the glitchy behind the back. He had the hop step. His release on goal quick draw is fine.
I promise you, if I could choose 2 pick diamonds in this game right now, it would be Giannis and Kawhi.
He is still
it would be.
an elite card.
I can't discredit them. They were so good.
2K. However, look, I don't think anyone can really expect realism in my team. Then, like,
this Kareem card was so elite.
Kareem.
He was so
Kareem
elite,
was ridiculous.
man.
He's still to this day usable. Not quite as good as Giannis, but if you have Kareem, he'll still play defense.
He was so elite.
And he was arguably the best center in this game.
So I'm trying to think when I went from college to then coming home when everything was online, because that's really when, you know, I started playing the game a little more. Like, obviously I played a lot, but I could really devote my time to this.
In June. And then the 13th of March.
Yeah, by this time I was at home. I know I was at home by this time. I'm almost guarantee it, because that Josh Smith came out. I remember, you know, getting hyped over him. Ben Simmons, who I thought would, you know, be the best point guard we've ever seen, best player we've ever seen. This day was incredible. The reason I know this day so well was because the school shut in Ireland on the 12th of March. Okay.
So this was my first day, technically.
See, DBG and I kind of had the same, you know, thing. Obviously, DBG put out a lot more content, and I did post, you know, win my global championship. But this was kind of a big day for us, as, you know, we could do this full time.
YouTube full time.
Yeah, we could do it full time. Exactly.
My teaching placement was finished. And this day, we got Galaxy Opal Simmons, who no one realized had an Evo at the time, to give him a 93 point.
Hall of Fame range.
As well as that, we had the Aaron Baines, who was an insane budget card.
If that Ben would have had Hall of Fame quick draw, he would be elite.
We got a great token reward back.
Jonathan Isaac was so good.
Smith, who held up quite well.
For his time, Jonathan Isaac was incredible.
And Jonathan Isaac, who was the best diamond in the game at the time.
He was so good.
Also with Don Maker, who was an unbelievable Ruby.
He was
just a way better version of the Chris Webber card.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these cards are outdated. Yeah, the only ones of these cards that I still consider usable are Ben Simmons and
Josh Smith
and maybe Zach LaVine.
I wouldn't use
Around the time,
LaVine.
this batch of cards was absolutely ridiculous.
It was.
From the Amethyst token award, Derek Harper, who's insane, to the Diamond Jonathan Isaac. And the one thing that really went under the radar was that 2K actually gave it a free pink diamond card in TTO, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time they did it. They gave it the free pink diamond Marcus Camby, who was not terrible at the time.
He was bad. DBG, stop. Okay, this card was bad.
Like,
stop it.
This card became outdated very quick because
he was bad.
12th or the 13th of March, I believe,
Kareem was in the game.
Power creep.
Kareem was in the
that was
game.
when people started really getting just juiced cards. But he had quick first step at the time.
This card was he was not usable.
By people and he can hit the wide open three. I felt that he was a really good card and really underrated.
I
However,
disagree.
Most people would not use this card.
No
in
chance.
any sort
He was
of a
terrible.
serious manner. Then we had St. Patrick's Day.
I liked Larry when he first came
Larry was
out.
alright. Kyrie was terrible.
But he's just slow. Larry was just
But
slow, man.
again, it was just St. Patrick's Day cards. Then the next night.
This was huge, man. This was huge.
The 18th of March. We all had 2K Empty Central open, wondering what the hell Spotlight Sims were. We saw a bunch of these diamonds.
Nobody knew what this was going to be.
We knew they were free because they were.
And I guessed at the time it would be some type of offline, another domination type mode. That's really what I thought it would be.
We also saw.
And that's kind of what it was.
James Harden. We saw Ingram. We saw Siakam.
I was so excited for Siakam, and I was right. Siakam was incredible.
There were so many assumptions. And one of the funniest things was, like, we looked at the stats, we were generally right with the best cards, like Rocco, Brogdon, Reddish, Porter. one of the funniest things about these cards right here was that they missed the launch time by about 20 minutes. So the next day, we all like assumed that the cards were coming, and they just didn't come. But they were about 20 minutes late, and people were going crazy. There was like two sides. There was the I can't believe they didn't release it, and they're after just trying to frustrate us. And then there was the other side being like, maybe these were never meant to come out, and people just mined them on a database site. So it was kind of like a hilarious argument between people in the 2K community. But no, in the end, we got the cards.
And the thing about these cards is Cove, you know, the even a Malcolm Brogdon, you know, Cam Reddish. Obviously, those cards were good, but when you get up to Siakam, he was incredible. James Harden was very good for his time.
However,
then we get Magic Johnson and Cat.
I'm sorry, but like
Magic Johnson, Cat, even Carmelo.
Cam Reddish,
So it's like
almost straight away.
It's like here's the thing: you
Campbell
could
Legend
grind for
out,
Harden, or you could just
Kendrick
get
was
Magic
better than most of the
Johnson.
diamonds. Still to this day is better. We had Danny Manning, who was better than nearly all the cards, who was like 6 KMT. Melo, who I think was very overrated. That Magic.
Carmelo was good. Stop. Carmelo was
Apart from
good.
the fact he was really slow, was actually pretty decent.
Carmelo was fine. For this time, Carmelo was fine.
Dan Issel in TT offline or TT online.
I remember we got Cat, who I obviously locked in. Cat was good for a certain amount of time. And then we got KG. Back-to-back Timberwolves. I was excited.
We got a final Prime Series 2 pack.
This drop was good. Oscar was good.
The amount of content
KG was good.
Was crazy. And I think a big
March was the biggest content month. It really was.
It was kind of middle to the end of March.
And that's what people first started lockdown. Everybody's playing the game, making content.
At the time still is a really good.
Marvin Bagley's even good.
Right. Then the either next day or the following day, I'm not entirely sure. Thursday.
I was never a fan of Spotlight Sims, you know.
And we got a whole bunch of them. And these cards were good, man. Like, Gallinari was great, and so was Lance. Then it was leaked. They leaked fan favorite packs in the park. And you better
they did.
You better believe we all went nuts over these cards.
We did.
Like, we had...
Hey, don't overlook downtown Freddie Brown here. But yeah, Bobo was good. Taco for an instant was okay. Bonga was so good,
we
man.
had a Taco Fall that could shoot threes, who's an opal. We had Scalabrini, a Manupa.
I didn't even know how to dribble illustrate this, but
before they
you know, Bonga still was good.
Post up people to death.
Boba was fine.
There was Bonga, who every budget player needed in their squad.
Bonga was good.
Had we known about Pro 8 back then, Bonga would be even better. Bonga
Absolutely.
Pro 8 cheese was the
Absolutely. Bonga's Pro 8 is
a
crazy
kind of
good.
crazy way to end March with what was at the time the best batch of cards by a mile we'd seen in my team.
Oh, it wasn't even close. Yeah, this is gonna get interesting. This is gonna be interesting.
So then we were on to April, where Will Chamberlain was the player of the month award. Will Chamberlain was good, man. He was.
Good. He was. He just wasn't good compared to, you know.
Special 7 teams.
He was okay. He was okay.
Not a card that I was the biggest fan of, especially because of another card.
He was good though.
A few days later,
he was good.
It was just Will better.
However,
I
was good.
did grind out this card. It was rough. It was a rough 2 days before I got this card, and it was when I first started the overall cheese because I was just sick of playing this game online. But Wilt, again, he kind of had everything defensively. But
he was good. Wilt is good.
And then the next day, career highlights cards came out. We didn't know what they were. We thought
is this when we got Terry Rozier, Rick Fox? Who did we get here?
Career highlights cards.
They were terrible.
Any of them apart from maybe
they were
the
terrible.
Are even usable? Or maybe T-Mac. These cards were terrible. Then we got the Luka Doncic cards. The Luka Doncic prime packs. Porzingis was alright. Doncic was okay.
Dino was good.
Was alright. However, we all know who the best of these cards were.
Dino probably was the best. Luka was good though. Luka was pretty good.
He could shoot better. He could do everything better than Will.
I like Dino too.
Expensive. Then there was the All-Star team up.
This is kind of fire, honestly.
This is because there is a lot of prominent 2K creators. So basically, there was an All-Star team up game that was played. I can't remember when it was. The draft was the first night of WrestleMania. The game was the second night of WrestleMania. Can't remember anything. Can't remember the dates, but that's all I remember. Because the only reason I was awake for this draft was because WrestleMania was on. And my team was me, Jay, Bio, Ty, and MosBallin. And game 1, it was a best of 3 series. Game 1, we were pretty much in control the whole way. Me using LeBron, I managed to kick the ball to Mos, who hit a huge shot in the corner.
Mos did his thing.
Right here. But man, both teams were in a horrible state. None of us knew what we were doing. We were running triple screens, running 5 people to the basket.
How many of us play team up though, or pro-am? I mean, it's hard if you play my team to really do this. Now their spacing is a lot better than ours was. I'll say that.
A little bit better for game 3 though. Game 2 though, we got killed. We did get killed. Caldy was cooking us. Denver was cooking us. Like, YBC was killing us. We got absolutely demolished in game 2. However, game 3, we were back in control.
Come on.
We were back in control basically because we all got out of the way and let Ty be Ty, and then the 2K algo.
I wouldn't say all of that. Kawhi did his thing in this game though.
We got hit with an illegal screen, and then whatever the hell this was, the Hacker Shack rule giving them a free throw. It just kind of went crazy.
Hold on, yeah. Y'all see this lightly?
Giving them a free throw.
Post fade. Whew.
It just kind of went crazy.
That's
but
ice.
Again, we let Ty be Ty until, for some reason, the game made him shoot a full court shot and also didn't let Jay catch the ball.
Like that's the problem with 2K, right? They got this pump fake thing in the game. If I throw it anywhere besides maybe throwing the lob here, Kareem might get a steal. Like, I'm getting quadruple teamed right now. And if I throw it anywhere, Kareem might get the steal here. That's how bad this game is. I'm just trying to pump fake, not get pushed out of bounds.
Well, for some reason, the game made him shoot a full court shot and also didn't let Jay catch the ball.
I shot it.
Last play of the game, they have a wide open 3, but Caldy steps inside the line, misses the 2 anyway.
Yes,
which was
sir.
a good
Big
win for Team DBG.
Big
right
win.
There.
That was fun. That was a fun night.
Yeah, a couple of days later, we got
this glitch Shaq. When he came out, I thought he would be the best thing we've ever seen. I truly did. Like, I thought Shaq was going to change everything. He had like 43 Hall of Fame badges, the normal 2 behind the back, Hall of Fame range.
Honestly, I thought he was going to be one of the best cards in the game. And
Me too.
He's like a C tier opal right now with the amount of ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not really it anymore.
This Shaq had like
he was so good at the time.
Yeah, he had a slow release, but this is better than last year Shaq, who was the best card in the game. However, this card is not even the top 50 cards this year. It's crazy. And then April the 11th. The infamous deep hash tutorial came out.
I don't know who would ever release this sauce.
So anyway. Ty basically, after winning the global championship, started making YouTube videos. So he started doing some tutorials, and some people knew about deep hash, but a lot more did after.
Look at me run, man!
He started doing some tutorials, and some people knew about deep hash.
Look at me run!
A lot more did after this tutorial. He had already made the bait defense tutorial, which changed the way the game was played defensively, and I have to mention it. It is such an iconic part of this game. But the deep hash tutorial on April the 11th changed this game forever. I could mention his dribble glitch tutorial, but that's very recent. But yeah, the deep hash one was huge.
But my thing is, okay, we're to the point in 2K, all the big tournaments are over. Look, I just try to be informational in kind of what I present to you guys. I don't release all the sauce. I did kind of with the dribble glitch, but hey, we got a month left of the game. Pre-250 next year, I probably won't release much, but I try to help you guys out as much as possible. If you guys support me, I try to help you guys out. But
then Kobe Day or Mamba Day.
This was an interesting day.
It was mad.
People were it was interesting. I'll say that. Kobe Day was mad.
Basically, what we were doing was we were waiting for a Kobe card. We assumed the Opal was going to come, and then they released the.
Everybody thought the Opal was going to come. Everybody was so mad.
Who was like a writer for Forbes? He was tweeting like an Opal Kobe is coming, and he meant an Opal Kobe is coming some stage in the future. But we all took it as an Opal Kobe is coming that day. So we were literally like sitting on. I was sitting on the street.
This was bad.
4,000 people just sitting on Brian Mazeek's Twitter waiting for him to reply because we all thought he knew something more. But no, we just had a terrible Kobe. However,
this Kobe was terrible, man.
Kobe. Let's just
that Kobe was terrible, but
yeah,
it caused some crazy things in the community.
Let's be real. Then the Hito Packs.
When Hito came out, I thought he would be the best point guard in the game. He wasn't it for me. I know DBG liked him, but
I was happy. I was so happy when Hito Packs came out because Hito is a god. Still is. And also the same day Hito Packs came out, 2K, I'm pretty sure accidentally put Tracy McGrady on TTO boards. Like there was
this diamond T-Mac was solid.
Time pack, a diamond or a amethyst T-Mac. However, for some reason the
triple threat was on boards.
On TTO boards.
And everybody was playing triple threat during this
time. All Tracy McGrady's were on the boards. I think I pulled 3 of the pink diamonds. I didn't get any of the opals, but I know some people got 4 or 5 of the opals.
And opals went for a lot. They went for a lot, man.
I sold my 3 T-Macs for 100k each.
Yep.
And had 300k, which was huge for me at the time. So I didn't have much. And then that same day, 2K made the question mark collection. We knew what it was for, lads. We knew what it was for. Like, every single person, everyone who had ever watched this game knew that this was going to be for Kobe. They knew there was no other way. That whatever there was going to be some sort of spotlight sim, some sort of challenges. I
mean, but the thing is, it's just like everybody got let down with the pink diamond Kobe. We We knew there had to be something, man.
Everyone knew this was for Kobe. Like, it was the most obvious thing ever. No, they were never going to put Kobe in packs, and everyone pretty much knew what this was for. There was a lot of intrigue on what it was, and there was a lot of excitement. Everyone assumed it was going to be Kawhi, but in fact it wasn't. It was not Kawhi. Then there was
This was a fire day in 2K. Spotlight Sims are always good for 2K.
That they were going to come out on the Monday. 2K said, nah, we're not giving you them on the Monday. Then they were put onto the database later that night. So none of these cards were great.
Yeah, because these did come out at night. I remember.
Davis was handy.
Walter was good. Thorough Bailey was good.
A lot of these other cards like Robert Reed, Jeff Mullins were just for the rosters. Thorough was good at the time. I'm not going to say Thorough was anything spectacular.
He was pretty good.
Did a job. The Mullen and Gilbert cards weren't great, and
no,
honestly, the Kobe cards were not the best.
No, this was not as good, but it was a lot of hype around this. People love this.
I think I was up 40 hours straight,
and I didn't grind for Kobe, but this caused a lot of uprise in the community. That's all I'm going to say.
This was a bit of a strange situation, and I'll be the first to admit it. Like, I've even said it to the guy, I was completely in the wrong. But it was the glitched Opal Kobe fiasco. So basically, it was a 5-day grind, basically, or a 3 or 4 day grind. I can't remember what it was. But randomly, on the second day of the 3 to 4 day grind, all of a sudden there was a hacked Kobe Bryant card that appeared on a PC account. So everyone was kind of like, what the hell is going on? Especially, like, nobody had slept in days. Everyone was, like, on edge, being like, all this is for nothing, all this grind, all this is for nothing. And got very, very angry for absolutely no reason. We all, myself included, got angry for about a half an hour till I realized how just dumb I was being. Got angry at RJ for putting out the video.
And here's the thing about it that I want to mention. RJ put out a video, but look, if I would have gotten an offer to do an Opal Kobe Bryant gameplay, I would have done it. And I get people have grinded, 40, 60, whatever hours for Kobe, and I get that's a grind, but it's no different, than me grinding, for a 12-0 reward card and somebody glitches their way to 12-0 and gets that gameplay out. It's no different. I mean, it's taking advantage of opportunities. I personally was never mad about it. I saw both sides to it.
We all would have done.
Everybody would have done it.
Yeah, either way,
to say you wouldn't have is not it, man.
Quality. But yeah, the glitched Kobe Bryant fiasco. So basically, this card right here was the Galaxy Opal Go Kobe. He had 99 hours. This was the most anticipated card in my team.
And in the whole game.
I don't think it was a more anticipated card. Especially because the vast majority of large creators were on some sort of a grind.
And that's the problem with it. When you're grinding for something to be the first and then somebody, I don't want to say cheats, but it's tough, man.
I wasn't making videos playing, so I think I've been up for like 40 hours straight.
That's tough.
Like, it was a crazy grind.
And I wasn't grinding for it. I didn't think he was that game changing. So,
and honestly, it wasn't worth it.
I didn't grind for it.
Worth it. Like, this card was not good, and you see it from this gameplay. Like, RJ is a 250k qualifier. The Xbox.
You could say whatever you want about RJ. RJ is good.
It was some sort of a weird hitch. Later on, thankfully, they got rid of it.
RJ's good.
But man, there is no more disappointing card in this game than the Opal Kobe. This was a card that I wanted so badly, put in so much work to get this card. And you can even see it, like, RJ had used Kobe Bryant's diamond card the entire time, and he barely missed with Kobe Bryant's diamond. However, he was really struggling on half quick draw, and it was really because of a weird.
It's tough. It really is tough.
Jump shot for Kobe. And you got used to it after a while.
And I remember this gameplay. I watched it. I said, "What am I watching?" And it's not because of RJ. It's just because Kobe wasn't truly good.
His release timing, you couldn't even look at Kobe because if you were looking at him, it would all be like thrown off. But at the end of the day, it still was a good card. I just felt that I already had Brandon Roy.
He wasn't that good. He really wasn't that good.
There was a few other guys, including Nick Batum, that were doing a bit more for me. Disappointing, but either way, the glitch Kobe fiasco. It's something we can look back and laugh on. But I was 100% on the wrong side of the fence with that debate.
I never said anything about it, but look, I can't blame RJ at all, man.
Not gonna lie. However, the day Kobe came out, these cards came out as well. Well,
we get Bron.
Legitimately got Kobe for the first time.
We get Bron.
Like, LeBron James point card was insane, and
he was ridiculous, man. Well, Anthon, Dre was good.
Ridiculous card.
These cards we got were good.
He could clamp people up. Dennis Rodman's release was awful.
Rodman was one of the best defenders in the game, but his release was terrible. He might have been
the best card in the game at that stage because his defense was ridiculous.
It was elite.
He had every Hall of Fame defensive badge. He was insane on that end of the floor. However, they did come out with much better versions of that card, so that was kind of good. However, the day
look at the auction house, man. I remember this. I remember this.
I think it was about a week. The auction is just randomly.
People were getting random cards for super cheap, and it was bad.
As you guys can see, nothing for within 3 hours. In randomly 2 hours and 12 minutes. If you managed, like, there was ways, I don't know how you did it, but some people were managing to find ways of getting into the actual auction house, and suddenly cards were ending for, like, say LeBron was going for $1 million. You could buy LeBron for 200k. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Which is just crazy.
Then we got our best batch of free cards. I think it was the first time we'd ever gotten 3 free Galaxy Opals. We gotten 1 or 2, but we ended up getting 3 of them. We got like Tiny Archibald, Spencer Haywood from TT Offline. Neither of these were good, by the way. However, the TT Online reward was fantastic, and it was Kiki Vandeweghe.
Kiki was good for the time he came out.
2K19 with that base.
He was no, he wasn't. You can't make a comparison. He was good though.
85 on wall seal 10.
He was good enough.
Great. However, the next day was when the thread came up on 2K Gamer. So a lot of people were like looking at certain cards like LeBron and being like, why are all of these 1.3 million? And the reason why they're 1.3 million is the same reason as this. Like, I remember, if you guys can find this video, I can't remember what video this is from, which is why I have this picture in, because I couldn't actually find the video again on my channel, but you could scroll to the 4-hour mark and every single Jaren Jackson Jr. is 34k exactly. So literally, there was somebody buying every Jaren Jackson Jr. and putting them all up for 34k.
Yep, price fixing.
And not one person could do that. As soon as one of them went up, bought it. It was a bot. Like, it was a bot. It was being bought by the coin farmers, and they were being price fixed. However, it became even more noticeable and a bigger deal when it became with certain cards like these. So the reason why all of them are 1.3 million, 1 million is because people are bidding that, and they're just saying you're not the highest bidder. But the funny thing is that from the second the LeBron card gets put up, there is a bid of like 1.x million on every single one.
Yeah, they want to make
one person has had enough MT.
And that's the thing; they're not going to appear the same because they're not
on every single.
When you bid less than it, that's what it automatically goes up for.
Over $1 million. Like, it would cost you about 30-40 million MT to price fix these all. So it's obviously a company that was doing it. However, there was a thread on 2K Gamer. It was the exact same thing with Shaq. Basically, of somebody, he shared like the Chinese 2K forums, where again, there's no actual proof of it, but it seems highly likely that he's correct. Where they're basically saying that the coin farmers or the coin sites were completely
which makes sense. It makes sense. It's not a good thing, but it does make sense.
There is nothing illegal about what they're doing. Yeah, selling MT is against terms of service, but at the end of the day, if you have all the MT, it's a genius thing by them. And if these coin sites weren't doing this, I'd be shocked. Because these companies, if they weren't doing this, it wouldn't be smart.
And it's a smart idea. It's not good.
This does not keep going on to 2K21. Otherwise, it's going to be so difficult to afford expensive cards. Then, on the last day of the month, we found out about Glenn Rice's 6.
Now, when Glenn Rice came out was good.
Found out about
there's no denying that. When he came out, he was good.
This card
Glenn Rice was good when he came out, man.
And on the 30th of April, one of the biggest things in 2K20 happened. And it's a random thread on a forum. The SIGs, My Team Card SIGs thread by Kenny Mac K69 on 2K Gamer.
Kenny Mac's a goat, man.
That completely changed my team. This is the thread that made people start to look at SIGs, start to see what SIGs were good and compare them with all other cards, to know if cards were good before you bought them, if they were going to have good animations. This site was, or this thread was the thing which really started off.
Kenny's a goat, man.
Chain of events which led to 2K Gamer, or 2KDB. The best
2K database is so elite. It is so elite, man.
My iconic thread in NBA 2K.
Absolutely.
And not might, it 100% is.
Oh, don't get me started about this, man. Do not get me started about this. The words cannot describe this.
With a pretty decent match.
Lamar was fire. Eddie Curry was good.
However, the best card by a mile in this was the Eddie Curry.
I don't know about best card. Eddie Curry was good, though.
When he came, he's outdated right now. But when he came out, man, he was this.
He was good.
Demi center with base 38, which is the fastest release in the game.
He was good, no doubt.
Stop. He could, he couldn't tween, but he had pretty decent dribble moves. He had to go behind the back. He could get to the basket well.
Eddie Curry was pretty good, no doubt. He was good.
And it was Eddie Curry of all people. Eddie freaking Curry, lads. He was insane.
Eddie Curry was good.
2K came out with a bunch of dynamic duos. And again, just like most of the time this year, duos are worthless.
They are worthless.
They
get a lot of hype, but they are worthless.
Like no range or no certain badges, and it doesn't help anything. Then we got the Evo.
Evo's Penny, Grant Hill.
Finally, Penny Hardaway didn't have 77 lateral quickness.
And Penny still wasn't good, but he was usable.
Like,
I mean, you could use Penny.
Again, that's quite a big thing, but he no longer had 77 lateral quickness. He now played defense. He was still terrible.
The lateral quickness thing was the worst part about Penny.
Then we got D-Rob, who would have been absolutely
D-Rob still is good.
They not kept him with steady shooter.
He's still good enough. D-Rob's okay.
Not a badge that I am a fan of whatsoever, but at the end of the day, it was a well-needed upgrade to make an almost worthless card pretty good because they gave him range extender.
Yeah, he's good.
And then Fan Favorites 2 came out. So lads, Dean Wade. That's all that matters.
Jeff Green, man. Jeff Green. That's what matters. Jeff Green.
Dean Wade.
Jeff Green was incredible.
I do not know how we managed to get Dean Wade a card. Dean Wade is basically was a meme on the channel.
DBG was ruthless with that. Hey,
using him and loading
shout out though. That's determination right there.
I still to this day cannot believe
how Dean Wade got a card.
And no, yeah, we managed to get Dean Wade an Evo Pink Diamond, which was absolutely nuts. And then, lads, the great locker code fiasco of 2K20.
Wow. This was bad. This was bad.
Said that he had a lane code. He didn't. And he milked it for all it was worth. Like, for me anyway, I think this was hilarious to an extent. Like, this initial thing saying he lost the code and everything was hilarious. But one of the things was that it wasn't actually a code for a lane. He actually, like, I'm saying this right now, Ambish showed me the email he received, and I've been giving away creator codes. It is definitely confusing the way it's written. So I can kind of see where that mistake came from. But the stream was an absolute disaster. It was after a little while, the stream definitely took a turn for worse.
It was. Listen, I don't want to talk bad about anybody. I never do. But that stream was bad. So all I'm going to say, that stream was bad. I have specific views on that whole fiasco. But I felt I turned it off, took a nap, and I woke up and it still was going on. But it was bad, man.
As bad as it was a look on Bish, like, I'm not gonna try to defend him. The amount of like death threats and racist stuff in his chat, the fact there's no need for any of that, okay? No matter what happens with any creator, there's never a need for any of that, okay? That's way too much. You should never go to that extent. Can you be mad? Can you be, angry? Yes. Disrespectful? No. Disrespect, it should never be a thing. Death threats, never, okay? Be mad, be angry, lose respect, whatever. But don't disrespect. That's my whole thing. Angrily and quote unquote started losing it on stream. In that specific scenario, you can kind of see how it would happen to someone. I mean,
but the problem with it is, why did he go to the extent to do what he did with that code? I mean, it was just straight up not right, in my opinion. If I'm given a code, I'm not milking it. I mean, you're fine to fire up a stream saying you're giving it out at a certain time, whatever, and you can stream 2 hours earlier. But to say the stuff that was said, I don't agree with it, man. I really don't.
Getting death threats non-stop over a virtual code, you can kind of see why might snap. However,
definitely the disrespect was not worth it, man.
This was one of the craziest things that happened.
It was crazy.
So, whatever way it happened, there was beef between him and Phantoms. He decided to let that out on stream. It was bad. It was bad. Let rip.
It was bad.
Anything that he had been holding in, anything that was on his mind, he just went. He was angry. He saw red and just took out his anger on everybody he had a problem with in the past. So it was kind of a mad stream. There were 7,000 people watching it, and while it was definitely
bad.
not something that I'd ever want to see, because having to watch that stream, having to see the stuff that was being said to him and about him, and the fact people still haven't gotten over it, it still is an iconic moment, and I kind of have to mention it. So it turns out that the code is for a pack. It was for a pack, lads. Ambish was trending 15 on Twitter. And not only that, Nick the Bulls fan somehow came back after this stream.
Wow.
And I can make an entire section on his waffle streams after this.
Yo, the Nick the Bulls fan thing was crazy, man. I was in all about Ambish, all about Nick the Bulls fan. I don't know.
Unless you were there at the time,
I don't know what I can say.
Describe exactly.
There's no way you can describe it, man. There's no way.
What happened in terms of old 2K YouTubers on Twitch. But
there's no way you could
weird.
describe it. It was a weird
Then,
thing.
In May, MyTEAM Madness ran their first tournament. So
Shout out
my
MyTEAM Madness. They're fire.
First messaging us all about playing a tournament. We didn't know what it was about. We didn't really know who was running the tournaments. However, I'm going to say this right now. MyTEAM Madness have done an incredible...
And that's the thing. I remember MyTEAM Madness first ran a tournament. I asked, $20 buy-in, and everybody's like, no way, anybody's going to do it. They did a great job marketing, did a great job, getting people involved. Shout out MyTEAM Madness, man. Really made something out of nothing. They really already have grown a ton in this year, moving into next year. And they're on the right track, man. Definitely go give MyTEAM Madness a follow if you don't already.
Incredible job for a competitive MyTEAM. Not only them, MyTEAM League as well, run by Pervy.
MTL is good as well. Yep, absolutely.
MyTEAM Madness have done a great job kind of promoting their tournament as kind of legitimizing it. Taking an entry fee so that they can pay out big prize money as well means that people are playing now for money. It is a kind of huge thing, and fair play to them. So in May, their very first tournament was played, and the final was Isaac versus Ty. So
shout out my guy Isaac, man.
Ty is definitely more well known, especially because of his presence on YouTube. So a lot of people thought this was going to be a walkover for Ty, but even Ty will say it himself. So will Isaac, that either of them can beat either of them on their day. They're both two of the best players in the world.
Either of us can't beat. Look, Isaac's my man. He got it done in a big time way.
This game was so.
He got it done, man.
Going down to the wire in game 3. Ty started to make a little bit of a comeback, but Isaac stayed composed.
Isaac did his thing, man.
He played really, really well. Hit his shots down the stretch, and congratulations to Isaac being the first MyTEAM Madness winner. Be interesting to see. Well, Ty won the last MyTEAM Madness, and be interesting to see who wins the last one. The next day.
That's what I'm saying. Isaac, if y'all don't, make sure to go smash Isaac's subscribe button. He's the man with the plan. Yes, we do go back and forth. Isaac, if you're watching Isaac, you know what it is, though. At the end of the day. I'm just kidding, my man. Isaac's my man, y'all.
They came out with...
But yeah, these super packs were interesting. They were interesting.
Crashed the market for about 15 minutes. And I'm not even kidding. When everyone saw these packs, they crashed the market for about 15 minutes when people realized, oh, these are VC packs. And everyone just started buying cards again. Then they
go MJ, Giannis, this is a crazy drop, man.
I knew Go Jordan was going to be coming.
This is a crazy drop.
A ridiculously good card. That Giannis card still to this day is insane.
Giannis is good. Chris Bosh was good for the time.
Card was the best budget card we'd ever seen until that stage.
This drop was fire, no doubt, no doubtly a fire content drop.
Like.
Even the Darius Miles was fine for a pink diamond. It's just his release was tough.
Not really my team related, but that same night was the basically the national championship for Irish play now. Not my team related, but I'm throwing this in there, a bit of self promo. It was the same day as I pretty much won the national championship, so I think I'm technically I am the only person in Irish basketball history to win a underage national cup, adult national cup, senior level, as well as an esports national cup. And then this happened, lads. This happened. This might have been earlier on in the month. It might have been later in the month. I can't remember the exact date this was found. But
don't get me started about this,
there's no point in showing a video because this picture shows what it is. The lineup glitch. You click on your point guard and then you click down a few times to your center. The game won't start.
Yep, you could sit there. So what happens is, right, they pause the game pre it started. You'd see their lineup. If your lineup was a lot better than theirs, they might do this if they're like 6-0, whatever. It's because they don't want to lose. So they could sit there for as long as they wanted. And people eventually would dashboard, giving the other person an opportunity to get a different type of matchup. So when this happened, I was, got into 12-0 actually, and I waited. I waited. So I think I matched up, queued up around 10. That night, he did this. I stayed up till 2, 4 hours. Because the worst thing is you can't just leave your console on and go to bed. Because if they start the game, then you'll lose. So I stayed up till 2, 4 hours. Still hadn't started the game. I even messaged him on Twitter. He's like, no way, bro. Like, I'm 10-0, I think is what he said. He was 10-0, and I know I'm going to lose if I play you. And so Nate, my brother, stayed up from about 2 a.m. To 6 a.m. Got up about 6 a.m. about to 10 a.m. Finally, I messaged him. I said, "All right, bro, I'm gonna go shopping, or I'm gonna go grab some lunch. For I don't even know what fast food store I said. Gonna go grab some lunch. Can't wait to I don't know what I said. Basically, fooled him into thinking I was going out to get lunch. He started the game. He quit out within the first quarter. But this is something that messed up everything for about an entire month.
Because of the way position locks work, they have it done so that you're in a situation where, I don't know, maybe your point guard isn't playing point guard or something, and the game wouldn't start because of it. Like, you literally had to sit there.
You had to sit there and wait and wait
until
and wait.
your opponent either...
It was the worst thing ever.
Sometimes people would glitch people 10 hours at 11-0 to try and get automatic wins. It was crazy.
It was bad.
And this glitch, man, it literally made my team unplayable for days. It was an absolute joke.
This was bad, and it took them a while to figure it out.
Like a 7-foot tall E.
He was good. He was good.
He wasn't that he was anything spectacular. He was just a 7-foot tall small forward, and he wasn't even a glitch card.
He was pretty good.
This card wasn't that the greatest in the world.
It was okay.
Things, but it was just madness that this card was a thing. Then we got the Opal T-Mac in his flashbacks.
T-Mac, Wes Unseld was good too.
I like this T-Mac. I don't think he was enough an upgrade over the Campus Legends, or not Campus Legends, the Flight School.
He was good though.
Flight School, that was last year. The Leap Year packs. We got 2-guard Dirk, which was ridiculous.
He's
and then
terrible.
Wes Unseld, who legitimately was a center. He won an NBA.
Unseld is good though.
They made Wes Unseld a
rest in peace, Wes. Like for real, man.
Like
that's sad, man.
Madness.
But it is. T-Mac and Wes were fired.
We got the next day in a really weird one. We got new token cards on a Saturday.
DeRozan was fired. Yeah, on a Saturday, which was weird.
Incredible. Peta was pretty good.
Peta was okay. I didn't like either of those others.
None of the pink time was good. However, those two diamond cards, Paul Westphal and Alfonso Ellis, were godly. Westphal was better.
I wouldn't say they were that good, but they were okay.
Funnily enough, they're both Westphal basically
they were okay.
A Maravich clone, Ellis a Dinwiddie clone, which is mad. But yeah, that's it for the month.
And I know DBG loves LaMelo Ball. I absolutely do not like the card at all. But hey, we have our own opinions.
Now we are on to June. So
June,
was kind of two.
Jerry Lucas was okay.
Jerry Lucas, and then a lot of people had Rudy.
Rudy was good.
Most people were excited for.
Rudy was so good.
And we knew he had wave base. However, his upper just made him awkward, as well as that he felt sluggish. There was something weird.
He was bad on defense.
There was just the release. I couldn't do anything.
His release was tough.
I mean, definitely,
it was tough.
But I don't know. A lot of people liked the card. I didn't. However, Rudy was the best card in the game.
Rudy was so good, man.
One of the best cards in the game.
He was so good. He still is good.
Like,
still to this day is elite.
Still ridiculous. I still use him in my squad. And we have gotten all the juiced cards. I still use him in my squad for one reason and one reason only. He's got Pro 8.
Pro 8 is incredible. I never really used Rudy like that, but he's good, no doubt.
His dunking's insane. He can do
everything. Definitely good, no doubt.
But Pro 8 was a huge thing. Terrible behind the back, by the way. Terrible.
Everybody with Pro 8 has a bad behind the back.
You go behind the back if you've got Pro 8. It was kind of just crazy. And again, the easiest dribble glitch in the game. He can shoot the ball really well as a cone. He's great.
Rudy's good, no doubt.
And then 2K the next day randomly took the hitches out of everybody's jump shots, which was great.
I never really noticed this one that much.
Had a hitch in his shot, no longer had
but that was me. I never really noticed this one that much.
Having a hitch in his shot, no longer had a hitch.
I liked Melo with his hitch, to be honest with you.
James Worthy and Danny Manning, who previously had massive hitches in their jump shot, they didn't have them anymore.
Like I said, I never really noticed this one as much, but I know most of the top content creators did notice it.
Then we found out about on-ball steal tendency. This ended up being one of the most
important
things for this game.
This was absolutely huge.
The big reason why people found out about it was because of how bad Kobe Bryant felt on defense, and also how good the Galaxy Opal Michael Jordan, who was barely better than him.
He was so good on defense.
And we realized fairly quickly that steal tendency was the huge difference. So it became something that people started looking at for defensive cards, and now basically every card is 100 because those steal tendency means
they matter. Yep, they absolutely matter.
Then we got the throwback.
This was gross.
I'm gonna just talk about them once here because they're irrelevant. Gordon Hayward was a bit of an interesting story.
These guys were all just terrible.
He came out and he had pretty good stats in SIGs, and then he also had steady shooter, and people weren't excited, and then they took steady shooter off him. But
Gordon Hayward was not good.
About these cards, they were just kind of token cards that were thrown in. Then Kawhi Leonard Prime cards came out. These came out early. This was a good drop. Early, I'm pretty sure. I think these came out. These came out on the Tuesday. On Monday, we got
these were good.
Cards. These came out on the Tuesday. This was actually a huge week.
Kawhi, Siakam, and Embiid. This was incredible.
Trust me. Like, we got the Embiid, we got Siakam, who were insane. We got the Kawhi Leonard, who was unbelievable as well. George Gervin was good. But within a couple of days,
man.
The amount these cards dropped in price was crazy.
It was crazy.
The amount like Embiid and stuff dropped price. Like,
see, we're in the middle of June though, so
however,
this was like when stuff got crazy. Yep. The GOAT Kareem.
Showtime packs in the PSN store.
The GOAT Kareem, man.
probably the first time they'd leak packs this year. But they would go on to do it a few more times.
Yep.
And yeah, people knew about that Kareem card, the GOAT card. People
and trust me, that GOAT Kareem was just absolutely ridiculous.
Overall, everything Kareem, which we got. However, before that, we got the all-time, or the final
Larry was good.
But these did not take too long to get whatsoever.
No, this was a lot more attainable compared to like
I'm pretty sure, I think
the
Kobe
Kobe.
was the first person to finish this. Ned 5 was the first person. Followed by Pro Ballers, then Energetic. Pro Ballers, I think, was the first person to get Kobe. And then...
Yeah, my boy Ned grinded this out big
to get all
time.
these cards in our squad. This Larry Bird card was ridiculous.
Shout out Ned. Hey, if y'all don't, make sure y'all go do your thing with Ned. I'll try to leave all the links down in the description for people I mentioned, you know, Isaac, Ned, some type of those guys. Make sure to go check them out, as well as my team man.
He was absolutely ridiculous. He was incredible.
Just a shout out DBG, man. The guy creating this 100-minute documentary, man. He's helped me out a lot, so shout out to DBG as well. Man.
On the Wednesday, and I think it was by the Thursday, most people that were going to get this card had the card. So an awful lot of people had him. And then
Larry Bird was good.
Showtime cards came out. Danny Manning was great. There was a lot of decent cards in this pack. However, this Kareem was
Jimmy Butler was solid, but yeah, Kareem.
It's mad that I had to say at the time.
At the time, I thought
to Demigod with a glitch, with a dribble glitch behind the back.
I truly thought he had normal too. I thought Kareem would be the best card we would ever see, but Yao is just different.
It's ridiculous. Still the second best card in my team by a mile.
Look at the normal too behind the back.
He's still absolutely incredible.
However, he is so good. I still use him.
The coin sites were back in full force. They were back in full force. Every single.
It was so tough to get a Richard, man. It was so tough to get him.
No matter what you bid, you were getting outbid until you bid exactly 1.5 million. So you see these had 1.4 million with like 18 minutes to go, and there were so many of them. Every single one of them was bid up by a coin site.
Yep, it's
so
tough.
No matter how far you went, they all had those high bids on them. But a lot of people had the MT as well. And then suddenly it goes to like 100k. But whatever you tried to bid on any of those, you were still going to be outbid up to 1.5 million. Trust me on that one. We saw it later on in that day. However,
that's about the cheapest you could ever get this Richard for a long time.
1.52 million. So they were only ending one bid above the coin sites every single time, which was very fishy. Then they came out with Evo Super Packs, and these cards right here were okay. They were okay.
I mean,
Ben Wallace was a great Evo.
Ben was a good Evo, but most of them weren't really.
Evos, to be completely honest.
Most of them weren't really worth it, to be honest with you.
Dean Wade's Evo, which came out a little bit later than this, I was a big fan of, but until then,
it's just Evos really weren't worth it too much.
But Dean Wade, man. Yeah, it was not the greatest card, but just for the channel, just getting to use this.
Yeah, for the fact that DBG got his Dean Wade was incredible, man. That's incredible that he ended up getting him.
The only reason we got it, so huge shout out to all you guys.
And he's not bad. I mean, he's not terrible.
Then they came out with the out of position 2 set, and
this was a fire
set. Bill Walton, when he got the Evo, became.
I don't mind this at all. Giannis was okay.
KD wasn't as good as cards we'd.
KD was good. AK was good. Jonathan Isaac was good. I liked all these cards. I really did.
Then it was dynamic duos.
They didn't do anything.
Enough, this was the day
these duos were terrible.
Reggie Lewis, because he was in dynamic duo packs. But again, even with a huge boost to all these things in duos, does anyone use any of these duos?
No, nobody does. They're not anything. Does
anyone use any of them?
Duos aren't worth anything.
I don't think I use them for gameplays. I don't think I've ever used a duo otherwise.
It's not worth it. I mean,
the giant duo thing under the player is so off-putting for a player's release. I'd rather not use a duo.
Yes, the duo is terrible on court. That's why I never ran Magic and Ream together. It's because it's terrible. It is terrible. I hate it.
But whatever about these duos, the craziest thing about all of this was the dynamic duo packs. So I'm going to be showing some.
Oh, this was bad.
And this right here.
This was
dynamic
weird.
Duo packs, man. These were nuts because they were glitched. And instead of putting in duo cards into packs, they put every card in the game into packs. Like, people were out here pulling reward cards. People pulled Opal.
This was bad. This was bad.
People pulled Opal AD.
People pulled Opal Ream, I think. You could pull anybody.
Like, I'm pretty sure he assumed he was getting, like, Dwight or Aaron Gordon. He got Nikola Vucevic. And, like, even Denver, this is when we realized we're like, what the hell is going on? Denver somehow pulled Carl Anthony Towns.
Like,
who was a lock-in reward. Like, it was mad.
It was weird. It was so weird.
I think there was other people that were pulling some of the best guys in the game. Like, It was a huge blunder from 2K. A huge.
It was
blunder,
bad.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And if you look at the course of this video, how many blunders does 2K have? Quite a bit.
Duo out of this, and it was a free locker code duo. So these two cards came out. Derek Fisher and
but
Robert
how many
Ory.
people are going to use
Great
Derek
by
Fisher,
themselves in
man?
terms of the locker
I
code.
don't know.
However, when they were together, they got so many upgrades. I mean, Fisher got 50 Hall of Fame badges. Yeah, Fisher was still 6'1".
Exactly.
Yeah, Robert Ory was still okay.
But if you're just starting the game, I mean, I guess.
Funnily enough, he has Carmelo Anthony base, whereas Carmelo Anthony doesn't have Carmelo Anthony base. But he had so many upgrades and stats and badges that it kind of made this a fun duo, especially if you were just starting out the game. And it was completely free, so I used it in a few games, and it was very, very fun to use. I'm not gonna say it was a great duo.
I mean, I've never used a duo, but
duo. Don't get me wrong.
I guess if you're just starting out the game, it's not too bad.
And then the next day, I have to mention it, but I'm not gonna say anything more. Basically, two bros got fired for doing some bad things. That's
disgusting.
There's enough stuff out there. If you want to read more, you can. I'm just not talking about it here.
I don't want to either.
Then they came out with LaMelo Ball the next day.
This was cool though, because a lot of people didn't think they would come out with and hey, by the way, no, he's gonna mention it later on, but
and then they came out with this picture.
I know DBG's gonna mention it.
This was hype.
This was definitely hype. You get Melo, you get Wiseman. This was hype. A lot of hype.
So they came out with the Gen Next. I'm pretty sure this was my last ever content live stream for the year. And Jesus, I did not realize how much weight I had put on from the start to the end of that. From start of quarantine to then. But yeah, so LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo's good.
He was just ridiculous. Best SIGs in the game.
He's good, but he's not as good as, the LeBrons of the world. I'll say that.
I personally think, or one of the best jump shots in the game, I personally think that the Wiseman card was better.
Wiseman is better, without a doubt.
But LaMelo is still, in my opinion, the second best point guard in the game.
Disagree.
Simmons.
I disagree.
Soon to be fourth because LeBron.
Even with the other LeBron, you got Simmons. Obviously, I like LeBron. I'll take Magic over him as well.
Giannis Go card, but
now he's not even a top 5 point guard.
Unbelievable SIGs, unbelievable release, huge player build. His pink diamond card's ridiculous. Well, I still use
his release. Just looks disgusting.
And again, end of June, a fantastic card. And this set had so much hype. Then next day, player clubs cards were out. We thought maybe these could be something serious.
I never even have paid any attention to Players Club.
They're
nothing, man.
at all. We really
They're really
don't
nothing.
care whatsoever about Players Club cards. But at the end of the day, it's something new, I guess.
This was a crazy month, man. These were a crazy month.
Now we are on to July, where we got Michael
Beasley was okay.
He was okay. It was fine. He was
not as hype as a Glenn Rice, but he was okay.
Not the greatest card in the world. Again, he's the August 12 and 0 reward as well. I didn't even care enough to try go and get Michael Beasley in July.
He's okay.
I just had so many better cards. So many better cards came out. He was good though at the time. Don't get me wrong. He's still a 6'9" guy that can play.
He was definitely good.
25 on ball seal 10s. He was just kind of killer for this card.
It does hurt him quite a bit.
At the end of the day, not the worst card in the world. And definitely one of the better players.
He's definitely okay.
Not a bad one, but not a great one. Then they came out on the 3rd with, I get it, they came out with Karl Malone, came out with LeBron.
Karl Malone was good.
Dwayne Wade. But the big
LeBron
thing,
was good too.
As you guys can see in the top left-hand corner, 2KDB was made on this.
This was fire.
The best database site in my team.
Yes. Shout out 2K database, man. That is absolutely incredible. Helps me out a ton, man.
Was fantastic. They've gotten slow. MTDB is such a terrible site that I'm so happy that anything other than MTDB is usable. But 2KDB is the fastest. Shows the
it's the best. I just hope going into next year it's still the same, man.
Huge shout out to Kenny Mac and 2K Gamer for helping, and the other guys in 2K Gamer for helping put that together.
Absolutely.
And then they came out with all-time Spotlight Sims. Again, these cards right here, I was kind of excited and kind of not.
I wasn't excited at all for any of these cards. None. This was the least excited I've been all year.
Steph is fine.
Steve Smith's the best player we got out of these.
99 everything. Including 99.
Steph is not it. I'm sorry. He's not it.
He's just not got the best release in the world. His dribble SIGs are okay. He's got Pro 2, but that's really it. He's fine.
There's nothing to be excited about with Steph. I'm sorry.
But
just not.
It is only a 15-hour grind. So if you really do want to use those guys, more power to you. More power to you if you want to use those guys.
It's not for me. I'll say that. It's definitely not for me.
Steve Smith is a good card in it, but again, not a card at the stage he came out. That was the most relevant card in the world. And again, a quick grind. I think Energetic was the first to.
Yeah, it didn't take that long to get him.
Then we got the Lillard flashbacks. Lillard was terrible. However, Lamar Odom was really good.
Wilt was good.
Like, Wiseman kind of made sure we knew.
I like how he skipped over Wilt. Imagine.
Man, that
Wilt was incredible. Thank you.
Top 3 defensive guys.
Wilt was so good. Plus, he has a good tween.
Ridiculous, lads.
Wilt had that glitchy
Not the best
tween.
shooter. Could do everything else in elite level. He was quality. Then they added in a bunch more Evo cards. So these Evos,
Jalen
honestly,
Rose. Some of them helped out.
The literal most pointless Evo in the world was Anthony Edwards. Kevin Durant had a pretty decent one, but Jalen Rose, man.
Jalen Rose's Evo was crazy. Because that's what I started using Jalen was when he got that Evo.
10-point guard right now in the game, in my opinion.
When I started using that Evo, he was incredible.
The only thing he had negative was that he was slow on defense. However, that improved a ton.
Definitely. He became good.
He was already one of my favorite cards. He still is now.
And he became good on defense.
In this game. And in my opinion, right now he's top 5. But he probably won't be once the Go cards come out. However,
not
the big
anymore.
one was
but
the Go Kobe Bryant. Actually, not the Go Kobe Bryant.
I still never liked this career highlights Kobe. He was okay,
this
but
card was terrible. Everyone was waiting for the Evo, and thank you to
career highlights was bad, but you know they gave us the Evo, so for no money spent players, he was okay.
This was about a 10-hour grind to finish this. So rather than grinding, it was 120 hours. Rather than grinding 120.
Yeah, that Kobe grind was just for the Opal Kobe was just ridiculous.
Because this card right here. He had gold quick draw. And if you guys don't know,
I don't think he's quite better, but it's close. It's definitely close.
So he's a much better shooter. Obviously not as good going to the basket, but if you just want him to play defense,
it's definitely close.
He was really, really great. So I'm delighted that this card is a thing for all the people that really wanted to use.
Definitely it's close
because he was very easy to get, especially that first Evo. And yeah,
this is what I was going to talk about, guys. This was weird. I assumed we'd get WNBA players, but we never did, and this was weird, man. Maybe we'll still get there's no way we'll still get WNBA players. The game is over, but this is weird.
Like, what the hell were 2K doing? They're randomly putting in WNBA players.
This is weird.
Jerry West, RJ Hampton, and Yeko Kongwu. It led to rumors that WNBA players were coming, which never actually happened. But you know what? I really wish it did. I really wish we were getting WNBA players because you know what? That could have been a lot of fun.
It really could have been. Even if they drop something next week, they won't. But with WNBA players, it'd just be something extra kind of fun. Right? I don't know. I'd have fun with it. I know I'd probably have fun with it. But
with more flashbacks. Goat Shaq was the main.
Shaq was elite.
But the good thing about these basically,
and I know KP was good too. I overlooked KP when he first came out, but he's good, no doubt.
Pretty sure Boogie was like the main.
I hate Boogie. I hate Boogie.
Flashbacks were not good apart from Kristaps. Blake's all right, and then Shaq's obviously great.
Blake's okay, yeah.
Then they did this. They came.
This
out with
was
the
interesting.
1,000 token packs,
and I knew we were gonna get a token update. I knew we were gonna get a token update, but
2 million MT prior to that in the day, we started going for like 500-600.
He went way down.
Chris Webber, who was 50k MT, randomly started going for 500k MT. It was a madness.
Was crazy.
People didn't know what way the market was going to be. And Webber was being bought up, Rashard Lewis was dropping. No one knew what was going on.
This was literally crazy.
With the way other cards came out, like you're getting Kareem for way under $1 million right now. But at the time, like it was just mad.
It was crazy because everybody wanted Kareem too because Yao wasn't even out yet. But everybody knew there was a token market coming, like a token update coming, and it just was bobo. And then this,
leaked this picture. They didn't leak these exact pictures. They leaked basically pictures with blackout of the players. Everyone guessed Giannis. I said straight away it was Yao Ming, the one on the left, because I was pretty sure I'd seen the picture before. Everyone's like, no, it's Tim Duncan. It's Tim Duncan.
I didn't want to believe it was Yao Ming. I really, truly didn't want to believe it was Yao Ming, but it was Yao Ming. I knew the one was Giannis and hey.
Eventually, they found the picture and it was Goat Yao.
Goat Yao.
Oh, man. How much I wish I was wrong.
Me too.
Oh, how
I love playing with Yao, but wow, it's absolutely ridiculous.
They came out with fan favorite Series 3. So, as JayCanada tweeted, basically, Giannis, Yao, and DBG's favorite players. And yeah, I'm not going to argue that. So, LaMelo Ball.
That's really what it is. I'm glad we got a Cam Reddish. I absolutely love Cam Reddish, but Dino, I mean, it really is DBG's favorite players. Really is truly what it is.
Me and you guys are the reason why that Thad Young card's in this game. The exact same for Dino. The exact same for Eddie. Cam, I'll give Ty a bit for Cam.
Yeah.
He was ridiculously good.
Yeah, help me out. Thank you. Give me some props. Thank you.
JaVale McGee is just a fan favorite player. So was Jordan. But like, oh lads, this set here kind of ruined it all, didn't it?
It did. But hey, you know what? It made the last month of 2K somewhat fun to play. For me at least, it's fun using Yao. It really is fun.
Cam Reddish
for people who have Yao. If you don't have Yao, I'm sorry. Definitely sorry if you don't have Yao.
And then Yao Ming, I didn't figure out how to use him until recently, but he's the best card in my team history.
Not even close.
And Giannis is just basically cream.
I didn't know how good Yao was when he came out either.
He's like the most relevant player because everyone can get him because he's like 20k MT. But it's madness.
Dino is good, but it's like even when you compare Dino at the 4 to Kareem at the 4, you notice a difference. Like Kareem's definitely better, but Dino is still good.
Behind the back, he's got a really nice Curry escape. Like Hall of Fame limitless, he can do everything, lads, and he's like 20.
Dino is good.
Then they came out with a bunch of token cards.
The only really relevant one is
Bobo. Great card to get, but at the end of the day, you can't.
The only relevant one is Bobo.
But Bol as your best one, you can't not spend the 750 tokens on Bobo.
He's the only relevant one.
Bobo is one of the most ridiculous cards in this game.
He's
basically
good.
Like imagine Porzingis with better behind the back.
Bobo is good.
Bobo. He is literally just Kristaps Porzingis, except his behind the back is significantly better. I still can't believe this is the thing. His handle is unbelievable. He's can shoot the ball really well. Beasley base.
Bobo is elite, man. He is so good.
KP. But then they leaked the GOAT.
Yeah, now we're getting GOAT packs.
They leaked these packs.
We got GOAT packs.
Packs a little bit before they happened. So
they have been.
Kind of knew that the NBA's backpacks were there, were coming, and then there was like a GOAT LeBron and GOAT Vince. And there's no point even talking about these cards because every one of these cards is the same.
The NBA's backpack,
the most ridiculous cards.
It was fire with Ben Simmons. Anyway. Ben Simmons was fire, man.
That's basically it. Those packs well and truly were the end of the end. They were end game. And regardless of what they do from now on, this was the end of July and this was really the end of my team.
And then, oh yeah, now he's talking about August. Yep. This is when it was over, man. When we're getting, GOAT Giannis point guard.
And the only real thing that's going to happen in August is they're going to release GOAT packs. And because basically the NBA's backpacks were GOAT packs, there's no point even... Like, people are saying wait till after these. We all know what these cards are going to be. They're just going to be different SIGs versions cards.
I tell you what, though. LeBron and Giannis at point guard is nice. I like the T-Mac. I'm not going to say it's, worth ripping or doing anything like that. But it's just... Yeah. It's just another alternative.
We've seen everything.
It's all a different option. You can now play LeBron at point guard. Go LeBron at point guard or small forward. Same thing with Giannis. But yeah, it's just we're to the point now. We're 2 weeks away from the prelude, and it's just kind of it was just kind of a way to wrap up the game. It really was.
Yeah, that's basically it for the year. So anyway, that is the video. This video has taken me the best part of 2 days to make.
Shout out DBG. 2 days making all of this, summarizing the whole thing. That's absolutely ridiculous, man. Huge shout out to DBG. That's absolutely crazy.
2 hours ago. I started planning for this 3 days ago. This has been the longest I've ever worked in a video.
That's awesome, man.
It is a look back at everything from NBA 2K20 MyTEAM, from pre-launch all the way.
Make sure y'all do me a favor. I'm going to leave this link down in the description. Make sure to go spam the like button on DBG's video as well as mine. Just because he works super hard on this and he's really a GOAT, man. DBG is really a GOAT, man. I definitely
have made some mistakes in this video. It's bound to happen.
I mean, it is, but you really covered everything from pre-250K to now. You really covered basically everything. Everything I thought of, you hit on pretty well. The only thing I would say is the domination. People completed domination, had troubles getting their jerseys, so they couldn't get the Opal Jason Richardson for a while, and stuff like that. But other than that, you hit on basically everything in the game. My video might end up being 2 hours. I don't even know. But once again, huge shout out to my guy DBG for coming up with an absolutely incredible 2K20 documentary, guys. Make sure to go spam the like on his video. Subscribe if you haven't yet to DBG, which I don't know why you guys wouldn't have already. But guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love y'all and have a blessed day.